This audiobook is about transforming the way you think about money and success. It's not about luck, shortcuts, or wishful thinking. It's about building a mindset that attracts opportunities, creates value, and turns consistent effort into results you can see and feel. Every chapter in this program is designed to give you practical steps you can apply today so that your actions, decisions, and habits naturally align with wealth and growth. You will learn how to train your mind to notice opportunities you may have been overlooking, take control of your time and money, and build confidence in your ability to achieve more than you ever thought possible. This isn't theory, it's about real strategies that create measurable changes in your life. By following these principles, you'll start seeing results not in some distant future, but in the way you approach your choices, your goals, and the way you move through each day. Inside this audiobook, you'll discover how to develop daily routines that strengthen focus and discipline, how to replace limiting thoughts with actions that move you forward, and how to build systems that make wealth a natural outcome. You'll see how consistent effort, strategic thinking, and deliberate action combine to create a life where financial freedom and personal growth are not just goals, they are part of your daily reality. Every chapter is designed to challenge old habits, reframe your thinking, and give you practical tools to take immediate action. By the end, you will have a clear roadmap to create opportunities, increase your earning potential, and strengthen your belief that you deserve abundance. This audiobook will guide you to live intentionally, act decisively, and build a mindset where success is not a matter of chance. It's a result of your choices, your focus, and the way you approach each day. If you follow the principles in this audiobook, you will notice shifts in the way you make decisions, manage your time, and interact with the world around you. You will learn to act with confidence, recognize value where others do not, and create momentum that propels you toward the life you want. Every idea, every strategy, and every insight is here to help you take control, maximize your potential, and make wealth a natural part of your life. This is your opportunity to stop waiting for circumstances to change and start creating results that reflect your effort, discipline, and focus. The knowledge in this audiobook is designed to be practical, actionable, and inspiring. By paying attention, applying the steps, and committing to these principles, you will begin to think, act, and live in a way that makes opportunities, growth, and financial success inevitable. Chapter 1. Build a mindset that expects money to follow you. Most people chase money their entire lives, without realizing that money is meant to flow toward those who think and act with purpose, clarity, and confidence. The first transformation begins not in the bank account but in the mind. The moment you begin to think like someone who deserves abundance, the energy of your life changes. You stop reacting to fear, and you start creating from intention. You stop trying to prove your worth, and you start expressing it naturally. A mindset that expects money to follow you is not based on arrogance. It is built on discipline, self-belief, and the understanding that money is a reflection of value, not luck. A person who believes money is hard to earn often proves themselves right. They notice only struggle, scarcity, and reasons why things don't work. They approach opportunities with hesitation, expecting failure before success. But those who expect money to follow them carry themselves differently. They act as though value flows from them. They make decisions without fear. They move with purpose, and they understand that what they give to the world determines what comes back. Expecting money to follow you does not mean waiting for miracles. It means becoming the kind of person that money, success, and opportunity naturally gravitate toward. To build that mindset, you must first master the way you think about wealth. Most people are programmed to see money as something external, something controlled by chance, the economy, or other people's decisions. But money, like every other form of energy, responds to clarity, purpose, and self-control. You must stop thinking of yourself as someone trying to get money and start thinking of yourself as someone who attracts it through the value you bring and the discipline you live by. When your mindset shifts from chasing to attracting, everything else follows. You begin to notice chances that others ignore. You find solutions where others complain. You take steps forward when others hesitate. The core of this mindset is responsibility. You cannot expect money to follow you if you constantly blame circumstances for your condition. Abundance does not grow in the soil of excuses. The person who says, "I can't make money because of where I live," or "I don't have enough education," has already built a wall in their own mind. A wealth mindset removes that wall. It says, if someone else can create wealth under similar conditions, so can I. That belief is not delusion. It is power. It reminds you that success is built by people who decide not to surrender to limitation. Every thought you repeat creates a direction. When your thoughts are filled with scarcity, you unconsciously repel opportunity. You start to make small decisions that limit your future, spending impulsively, avoiding risks, or doubting your abilities. But when your thoughts are guided by the expectation that money follows your actions, you move differently. You become intentional with your time. You treat your work seriously. You see learning as investment. You understand that wealth is not random. It's earned through consistency, patience, and alignment between what you think, say, and do. Imagine two people starting the same business. One operates from fear, afraid of losing money, afraid of rejection, afraid of failure. The other operates from a mindset of growth, focused on service, quality, and persistence. The second person doesn't wait for motivation, they build discipline. They look for what others need, not just what they want. They learn, adapt, and improve. Over time, success finds them, not because they were lucky, but because their mindset made them visible to opportunity. Money follows clarity, direction, and confidence. Building this mindset requires a daily commitment to self-awareness. You must watch how you speak about money. Every time you say, "I can't afford that," you reinforce limitation. Replace it with, "How can I afford that?" This small change rewires your brain from scarcity to creativity. It shifts your focus from what you lack to what you can build. You begin to train your thoughts to look for answers instead of obstacles. That's how wealth thinkers operate. They are solution-oriented. They never let their current condition define their future potential. Many people want abundance, but think like victims. They say they want financial freedom, but continue to make choices that keep them dependent. They waste time on distractions, spend more than they earn, and refuse to learn the skills that could elevate their income. A person who expects money to follow them lives differently. They treat their hours like currency. They invest their attention in what builds them. They avoid meaningless drama, gossip, or jealousy, because they know every mental distraction drains focus, the most valuable currency of all. A wealthy mind understands that time is more precious than money. You can lose money and earn it again, but once you waste time, it's gone forever. A wealth mindset is also rooted in service. You must shift your thinking from, "How can I make money?" to "How can I create value?" Every dollar you earn represents a problem solved, a need fulfilled, or a comfort provided. When you make yourself more valuable to others, money naturally follows. People pay for solutions, for excellence, for reliability. The more value you bring, the more wealth you attract. This is why the mindset of chasing money rarely works, because it focuses on taking rather than giving. When you focus on giving your best effort, your best service, your best product, you build trust and loyalty, and money becomes a result of your contribution, not your pursuit. To truly expect money to follow you, you must also eliminate guilt around wealth. Many people sabotage their own success because deep down they associate wealth with greed, arrogance, or moral compromise. They think rich people are selfish, and subconsciously they resist becoming one, but that belief only keeps them in scarcity. Money itself is neutral. It amplifies who you already are. If you are kind, money allows you to be more generous. If you are disciplined, money gives you more tools to create stability. Expecting money to follow you is not selfish, it's responsible, because the more stable and capable you are, the more you can contribute to others' lives. Building this mindset also means developing emotional control. Money follows calm, focused, and disciplined energy. Desperation repels it. When you act out of panic, you make poor decisions. You spend impulsively, you trust the wrong people, or you give up too early. But when you act from calm confidence, you make choices that compound over time. You stay consistent even when results are slow. You manage setbacks with patience. You understand that every great builder faced challenges, but they kept their focus on the long term. Money follows patience and intelligence, not anxiety. Your expectations shape your reality. When you wake up believing that the world is full of opportunity, you behave differently. You speak with conviction. You make bolder moves. You handle rejection with grace, because you know every no brings you closer to the right yes. People feel that confidence and they respond to it. Clients, partners, and employers are drawn to those who believe in their own value. Expecting money to follow you means expecting yourself to perform at a higher standard, not because of ego, but because you know that value is rewarded. Practical growth begins with small, consistent habits. Start by managing your environment. The conversations you engage in shape your financial thinking. If you constantly surround yourself with people who complain about money, you will start to think like them. Replace those conversations with people who talk about ideas, business, strategy, and growth. Watch how quickly your perspective shifts. Your environment either limits or multiplies your vision. You cannot think like a millionaire while spending your time among people who celebrate mediocrity. Then focus on your daily disciplines. Wealth doesn't come from sudden windfalls. It comes from the quiet consistency of doing what others avoid. Learn to track your income and expenses. Set financial goals. Read books about money, business, and psychology. Develop the habit of saving a percentage of what you earn. Not because saving alone will make you rich, but because it builds the discipline that wealth requires. Every time you choose discipline over impulse, you are training your mind to handle abundance. Another key part of expecting money to follow you is to believe that your potential is expandable. Many people stay stuck because they believe they've reached their limit. They think they can only earn what they earn now, that their skills can't grow, or that their age defines their future. But that belief kills possibility. Every person has the ability to reinvent themselves at any stage. The wealth mindset asks one powerful question every day. What can I do today that will make me more valuable tomorrow? When you live by that question, you automatically grow into someone who attracts opportunity. There will be days when progress feels slow. You may feel as if your effort isn't paying off. But this is where mindset separates the strong from the weak. Those who expect money to follow them do not measure success by quick results. They measure it by their consistency, improvement, and self-control. They understand that the process of becoming valuable takes time. They don't quit when no one is watching. They keep building quietly, knowing that every skill mastered and every hour focused is planting a seed for future wealth. You must also learn to respect money without worshipping it. Money should serve you, not control you. When you respect it, you manage it wisely. You plan, save, and invest. When you worship it, you chase it blindly, often at the cost of your peace and integrity. The wealth mindset creates balance. You use money as a tool for freedom, growth, and impact, not as the measure of your worth. The moment you stop chasing money for approval and start earning it through purpose, your relationship with wealth becomes healthy and sustainable. Every action you take must align with the mindset you want. If you expect money to follow you, act like a person who attracts it. Be reliable in your commitments, deliver excellence in your work, speak positively about your goals, carry yourself with quiet confidence, avoid unnecessary drama and wasteful habits. Keep your focus sharp and your standards high. When you operate from that energy, money naturally gravitates toward you because you are operating at the frequency of responsibility, clarity, and purpose. A person who expects money to follow them does not wait for opportunity, they create it. They study markets, learn new skills, and search for problems they can solve. They understand that wealth is built by those who combine awareness with action. They don't depend on luck, because they know preparation creates its own opportunities. This is why successful people appear lucky. They've prepared long before anyone was watching. They built the mindset first, and money became the result. You can begin this transformation today. Start by rewriting your financial story. Replace limiting beliefs with empowering truths. Instead of saying, "I'm not good with money," say, "I'm learning to master money every day." Instead of thinking, "There's not enough to go around," remind yourself, "There's more than enough for those who create value." Every new belief you choose becomes a seed for future abundance. Over time, your inner dialogue becomes your reality. Finally, remember that wealth is not just about the accumulation of money, it's about the strength of character that creates it. A wealth mindset teaches patience, resilience, gratitude, and growth. It's not about impressing others, but about mastering yourself. It's about living with discipline when no one is watching, staying humble when success comes, and giving generously when you can. When you live by these principles, money will follow you, not as a reward for desire, but as a reflection of who you've become. Every great transformation begins in thought. The person who expects money to follow them doesn't wait for permission to succeed. They take ownership of their life, their time, and their mindset. They stop chasing approval. They stop chasing opportunity, and they stop chasing money. Instead, they become the kind of person that money is drawn to. Disciplined, focused, and valuable. That is the true foundation of wealth. The day you start thinking like money is chasing you, the world begins to respond differently. Doors open, people notice, ideas emerge, not because something magical happened, but because you finally aligned your thoughts, actions, and beliefs with abundance. From that day forward, wealth stops being a dream and becomes a natural extension of who you are. Chapter 2. Train your thoughts to attract opportunities every day. Every great opportunity starts in the mind, long before it appears in reality. The way you think determines what you notice, what you attract, and what you act upon. When your thoughts are clear, disciplined, and directed toward growth, the world begins to reveal paths that were always there but hidden from your distracted mind. Most people miss opportunities not because they aren't capable, but because they've trained themselves to focus on problems instead of possibilities. To attract opportunities every day, your thinking must become your strongest ally, calm, intentional, and guided by purpose. Every thought you entertain either builds your future or blurs it. If your mind is filled with fear, doubt, and negativity, your decisions will mirror that. You'll hesitate where you should move. You'll second-guess where you should act. But when your thoughts are trained toward abundance, solutions, and progress, your energy changes. You start seeing potential in small situations. You find ideas in conversations, lessons in failure, and chances in the ordinary. Training your thoughts is not about pretending life is perfect. It's about choosing what to focus on so you can create a direction that serves your goals. Your mind is like a magnet. It pulls in experiences that match its dominant patterns. If your pattern is worry, you'll attract confusion. If your pattern is confidence, you'll attract clarity. Every morning before the world distracts you, take control of your first thoughts. Begin your day by asking yourself powerful questions. What can I create today? Who can I help? How can I improve my situation? These questions tell your mind what to search for. Your brain works like a radar. It detects what you've told it to look for. When you feed it empowering questions, it scans your environment for matching opportunities. This is how thinkers turn ordinary days into stepping stones for success. It's not enough to simply think positively. You must think strategically. Positive thinking without structure leads to daydreaming, but trained thinking leads to progress. Train your thoughts to analyze, to plan, and to act. For example, instead of saying, "I hope something good happens today," train your mind to say, "What specific action can I take today to create progress?" That one shift removes you from the role of a passive observer and makes you an active creator. Life doesn't reward hope alone. It rewards preparation backed by consistent effort. To attract opportunities, discipline your inner dialogue. The words you speak silently to yourself shape your beliefs. Every "I can't" becomes a wall. Every "I will" becomes a path. When you catch yourself thinking in limitation, stop and redirect. Replace the thought with something empowering, even if it feels uncomfortable at first. For example, instead of thinking, "I never get lucky," train your thoughts to say, "I create my own opportunities through awareness and action." That statement retrains your subconscious to expect success rather than wait for chance. It teaches your brain to seek alignment with action instead of excuses. Observation is another powerful part of mental training. People who attract opportunities are not necessarily smarter, they are more alert. They watch for small openings. Others ignore. They listen carefully. They pay attention to patterns, to people's needs, to what's missing in the market or community around them. When your mind is sharp and quiet, it notices what chaos hides. Most people are too distracted by noise, social media, complaints, or entertainment to see the doors right in front of them. The person who has trained their thoughts to stay centered and observant finds those doors daily. Consistency is what strengthens this mindset. You cannot expect your thoughts to serve you if you only train them occasionally. Just as muscles grow through regular exercise, mental strength develops through daily repetition. Spend a few minutes each day reflecting on your direction. Ask yourself, are my thoughts helping me grow or holding me back? Am I focused on what I can control? Am I staying open to learning? The more honest you are, the faster your thinking evolves. Over time, this habit builds mental awareness so strong that you start catching negative thoughts before they shape your behavior. Training your mind also means feeding it with quality information. The content you consume becomes the foundation of your thinking. Replace aimless scrolling with reading that sharpens your understanding. Listen to people who think deeply, not those who complain loudly. Fill your environment with knowledge, not noise. When your mental diet improves, your thoughts become sharper, more creative, and more grounded. You start connecting ideas faster, and your confidence in decision-making grows naturally. What you allow into your mind daily is either building or breaking your capacity to see opportunities. Another key factor is patience. Most people give up on new habits too soon because results aren't instant. But the mind, like nature, grows in quiet persistence. The thoughts you nurture today become your circumstances tomorrow. When you keep focusing on solutions, learning and discipline, life begins to respond with matching situations. You attract people, ideas and experiences that align with your direction. That's not luck, it's the result of mental alignment. You've trained your focus to stay fixed on what you want, even when progress is invisible. And soon, small openings begin to appear everywhere. Emotional control is part of this training. Fear and frustration cloud thinking faster than anything else. When you let emotions rule your mind, you make choices from reaction, not reason. The wealth of opportunities that could have been yours slips through unnoticed. Calmness, on the other hand, gives you clarity. It allows you to assess, decide, and act wisely. A calm mind doesn't rush, it evaluates. It doesn't panic when things go wrong. It learns. The person who can remain composed in uncertainty will always find doors others overlook. Emotional discipline is the bridge between thinking clearly and acting effectively. Self-belief ties everything together. You cannot attract opportunity if you secretly doubt you're worthy of it. Every opportunity you ignore because of fear is one that moves towards someone else who believes they deserve it. To train your thoughts for opportunity, you must strengthen your sense of worth. Tell yourself daily that you are capable of growth, learning, and contribution. Not because it's motivational fluff, but because it's true. The human mind is limitless when guided by conviction. The moment you stop doubting your capacity, your ideas begin to expand. You stop waiting for permission and start recognizing chances to prove yourself. Discipline your attention as fiercely as you would protect your time. Where your attention goes, your future grows. Most people waste their focus on temporary distractions, then wonder why nothing changes. Train your mind to prioritize. Each morning, decide what matters most and direct your energy there. When you give your best attention to your priorities, you naturally attract more meaningful results. Opportunities often appear disguised as small tasks or responsibilities. The person who performs even minor work with excellence becomes visible to those who can offer greater chances. A trained mind does not depend on motivation. It works from structure. It understands that thoughts shape behavior, and behavior shapes destiny. When you repeat disciplined thinking daily, thinking that looks for lessons, improvement and value, you create momentum. That momentum compounds into success. Soon you begin to notice opportunities in ordinary moments. A conversation, a new connection, an idea while reading. Nothing is wasted because your mind is tuned to growth. You've trained it to interpret everything as potential progress. The secret to attracting opportunities every day is not magic. It's mental precision. You direct your thoughts like a skilled craftsman directs his tools. You choose focus over noise, awareness over distraction, and discipline over emotion. When you master your thoughts, the world becomes clearer and your path more defined. Opportunities start to appear, not because the world has changed, but because you finally see it through a sharper lens. Every great achievement starts with one trained mind deciding to think differently, and when your thoughts move with purpose, opportunity never stops following you. Chapter 3: Focus on creating value that others truly need. The fastest way to attract wealth is to stop chasing money and start creating genuine value. Money flows naturally to people who solve real problems, improve lives, and make things easier, faster, or better for others. Every successful person, from business leaders to creators, understands this simple truth: the more value you create, the more valuable you become. When your focus shifts from personal gain to meaningful contribution, everything changes. Your energy, your results, and your reputation. People begin to trust you, seek you out, and support your growth, because you're not just taking from the world, you're adding something to it. Creating value starts with understanding what people truly need, not what you assume they want. Many people waste time building things no one cares about because they're focused on their own preferences instead of paying attention to others. The real skill lies in observation, listening to complaints, noticing inefficiencies, identifying struggles that people face daily. Every problem in the world is an unserved opportunity. When you focus your mind on finding solutions instead of seeking applause, you automatically step into the flow of abundance. The person who helps enough people solve real problems never has to worry about money. To create lasting value, you must develop empathy. That means learning to see through other people's eyes, feeling their frustrations, and understanding their desires. Empathy gives you insight that statistics cannot. It helps you notice patterns in human behavior, motivations behind choices, and the small details that can transform an average idea into something exceptional. The deeper your understanding of people, the stronger your ability to serve them becomes, and the stronger your service, the greater your reward. People are drawn to those who make their lives better. Whether you're a teacher, a designer, a business owner, or a worker, the principle remains the same. Value attracts attention. Attention builds trust, and trust leads to opportunity. If you focus solely on profit, people can feel it, but when you focus on contribution, they feel that too, and that emotional connection is what sustains success. Every act of genuine service builds a reputation that money alone can't buy. Over time, that reputation becomes your greatest asset. Creating value also requires creativity, the ability to look at familiar things differently. Most innovations are simply better versions of existing ideas. Someone took the time to ask, how can this be improved? Or what's missing here? That kind of thinking doesn't come from chasing trends, but from wanting to make life easier or more enjoyable for others. Creativity is not limited to artists or inventors. It's a way of thinking that anyone can develop by staying curious, observing closely, and refusing to settle for mediocrity. When you constantly look for ways to make things more effective, faster, or more meaningful, you position yourself as a problem solver, and problem solvers are always in demand. Value creation demands consistency. One good idea is not enough if you can't sustain the quality behind it. People trust consistency because it builds reliability. Think about the brands, people, or professionals you admire. They show up, deliver, and maintain standards over time. Their commitment creates a sense of confidence. You can apply the same principle in your life and work. Whether you're offering a service, building a business, or working on personal growth, your consistency communicates integrity. That's what makes people return, refer, and invest in what you do. Another important truth about value is that it evolves. What people needed 10 years ago isn't the same as what they need today. The world changes, and value must adapt with it. If you want to stay relevant, you must keep learning. Read widely, stay curious, and update your knowledge. The moment you stop growing, your value begins to fade. The more you expand your understanding, the more equipped you become to meet the needs of a changing world. Continuous learning keeps your mind sharp and your skills aligned with opportunity. Value creation also means raising your personal standards. You cannot deliver excellence if you accept mediocrity from yourself. Every time you settle for good enough, you teach yourself to be average. But when you push yourself to give more effort, to refine your craft, and to deliver with pride, you build habits that naturally elevate your worth. The goal is not to be perfect, but to be intentional, to care about what you produce, how you serve, and the impact you leave behind. When people sense that level of dedication, they respond with loyalty and respect. To create real value, detach your ego from your work. Too many people focus on recognition rather than contribution. They want to be noticed instead of being useful. But recognition is a side effect, not a strategy. The true measure of value lies in how much better others' lives become because of your actions. Whether anyone praises you or not, your effort still plants seeds of growth that will eventually return to you in ways you may not expect. Quiet contribution often builds stronger success than loud self-promotion. Another important factor in creating value is integrity. People may be impressed by talent, but they only trust character. If your work or words lack honesty, your value collapses over time. Integrity builds invisible wealth, the kind that keeps opportunities flowing even when markets shift. When people know they can rely on your word, they'll seek you out again and again. Integrity makes your value sustainable because it's rooted in trust, and trust is the most valuable currency in any economy. It's also essential to understand that creating value doesn't always mean doing something big. Sometimes, small actions make the greatest difference. A helpful conversation, a thoughtful message, a solution offered at the right time, these small acts of service ripple outward. When you consistently contribute in meaningful ways, those ripples turn into waves. People remember kindness, effort, and reliability far longer than grand gestures. Every day offers a chance to add a little more value through how you communicate, how you work, and how you treat others. To create value that lasts, align your efforts with purpose. Ask yourself why you do what you do. When your purpose is clear, your energy has direction. Purpose transforms work into service. It gives meaning to effort and turns challenges into motivation. People can sense when your purpose is genuine, and they respond to that authenticity. The most powerful businesses, leaders, and creators are those who operate from a clear sense of why. They know who they're helping and why it matters. That clarity fuels endurance. Creating value also involves humility. You must be willing to listen, accept feedback, and admit when you're wrong. Growth requires openness. When you listen without defensiveness, you discover insights that make your ideas stronger. Humility allows improvement, and improvement multiplies value. Every master was once a beginner who was willing to learn, adapt, and refine. The more you improve yourself, the more value you can offer to others, and the more opportunities return to you. Finally, remember that true value always comes back, multiplied. When you dedicate yourself to making others' lives better, you set in motion a cycle of reciprocity. People remember those who helped them, taught them, or inspired them. Your name starts to carry weight because it represents reliability, service, and contribution. Over time, that recognition attracts partnerships, growth, and financial reward, not by demand, but by natural alignment. Wealth follows those who give more than they take. The mindset of value creation turns ordinary people into leaders. It removes the desperation of chasing success and replaces it with the calm confidence of building it. Every day you have the power to create value in your work, in your relationships, in your community. When you wake up with the intention to serve, improve, and contribute, the universe responds with matching energy. Opportunity, respect, and wealth begin to move in your direction because you've become a source of benefit to others. That is the essence of lasting success, not what you accumulate, but what you contribute that continues to grow long after you've moved on. Chapter 4. Strengthen your belief that you deserve abundance now. You will never attract abundance if you secretly believe you're not worthy of it. Everything starts from belief. Not the kind you repeat in words, but the kind that lives quietly in the back of your mind, shaping every decision you make. When you doubt your worth, you unconsciously push opportunities away. You hesitate when you should act. You settle when you should aim higher. You say, maybe someday, instead of, why not now? The truth is, abundance responds to certainty. The more you believe you deserve it, the more naturally it begins to flow toward you. Think about it, every person who has created extraordinary success started with a conviction that they could have more. Before money came, before recognition came, before anyone believed in them, they had one thing in common: they believed they deserved better. That belief created energy, and that energy attracted ideas, people and moments that matched it. You can't hold the vibration of lack and expect prosperity to come in. You can't see yourself as less than and expect life to give you more. So the first step is to begin shifting your inner identity from someone who hopes for abundance to someone who expects it. Start by noticing your thoughts about wealth and success. How do you feel when you see someone doing well? Do you feel inspired, or do you feel resentful? Your reactions reveal your beliefs. If someone else's success makes you uncomfortable, it's because a part of you doesn't believe you could have that too. But when you shift your mindset and start seeing others' success as proof of what's possible for you, your energy changes. You stop seeing life as competition and start seeing it as collaboration. You start to believe that life is abundant, that there's more than enough for everyone, including you. Deserving abundance isn't about arrogance. It's not about thinking you're better than anyone else. It's about understanding that you are inherently worthy simply because you exist. You were born with value. You don't have to earn the right to live fully, to be free, or to have choices. Yet society teaches us to link our worth to productivity, achievements, and approval. That's why so many people work endlessly and still feel empty. They think more doing will make them deserving. But real abundance begins when you accept that you are enough right now, even before the money, even before the success, even before the recognition. Once you accept that truth, your actions will align naturally. You'll stop chasing opportunities out of desperation. You'll start creating from a place of confidence and calm. You'll walk into rooms differently, with quiet assurance instead of silent doubt. You'll stop asking for permission to grow. And most importantly, you'll stop apologizing for wanting more. There's nothing wrong with wanting abundance. The universe expands through your desires. Your dreams are not accidents. They are directions from a deeper intelligence guiding you toward your potential. When you say to yourself, I deserve abundance now, you're not being selfish. You're being awake. You're recognizing that by living fully, you inspire others to do the same. You show people what's possible when you refuse to settle. And that ripple effect is how collective growth begins. But the belief has to come first. You can't wait for proof before you believe. You must decide before the evidence appears. Because when you believe first, your mind starts searching for evidence to match that belief. You begin to notice opportunities you used to overlook. You start connecting dots you didn't see before. This belief also changes how you respond to setbacks. Instead of seeing challenges as proof that you're not meant to succeed, you start to see them as tests of your persistence. You stop taking rejection personally. You understand that closed doors often protect you from smaller paths that would have distracted you. You start to trust timing. You no longer rush the process because you know abundance is on its way. That's the mindset of someone who truly believes they deserve more. Patience, confidence, and trust. If you've spent years thinking small, it might feel unnatural at first to believe you deserve abundance now. But transformation always begins with discomfort. Each time you affirm your worth, each time you take a step that aligns with your belief, you strengthen that internal muscle. Over time, it becomes your new normal. You start to expect good things, not in an entitled way, but in a grounded, peaceful way. You stop seeing abundance as luck and start seeing it as alignment. And here's the real secret. You don't attract abundance by forcing yourself to think positive all the time. You attract it by being authentic. When you release guilt, shame, and unworthiness, your energy naturally becomes lighter. You make decisions with clarity instead of fear. You say no when something doesn't serve you. You say yes when something feels right, even if it's uncertain. That's when you start moving with flow instead of friction. The belief that you deserve abundance now doesn't mean you stop working hard. It means your hard work comes from a different place. It's not about proving yourself anymore. It's about expressing yourself. It's not about chasing, but allowing. You'll still put in the effort, but it will feel different, lighter, purposeful, and fulfilling. Because now you're not fighting against yourself. You're working with your own power. Look around your life right now. The level of abundance you experience matches the level of belief you've accepted. If you want to change your outer world, start with your inner world. Every time you think, "I can't afford that," change it to, "How can I create the means to afford that?" Every time you think, "It's too late for me," remind yourself, "I'm just getting started." These subtle shifts in thinking open invisible doors. You begin to attract new energy, new people, and new results. You deserve abundance, not tomorrow, not someday, now, right where you are. You deserve peace in your mind, stability in your finances, and fulfillment in your purpose. You don't need to wait for someone's permission or external validation. The moment you truly believe it, the energy around you begins to rearrange itself to match that conviction. So from this moment on, walk with certainty, think with confidence, speak with authority, act with faith. Let your belief be stronger than your fear, louder than your doubt, and more consistent than your past. Because when you truly know that you deserve abundance now, you stop waiting for life to change. You start creating it, moment by moment, decision by decision, thought by thought. And that's when the flow begins. Not as a miracle, but as a natural reflection of who you've finally decided to become. Chapter 5. Take bold actions that match your financial goals. Success doesn't respond to wishful thinking. It responds to bold action. You can dream all you want, visualize all day, and repeat affirmations until your voice fades. But until you take consistent, courageous steps that match your financial goals, nothing changes. Every person who has built wealth, stability, or freedom did it because they stopped waiting for the right moment and started moving despite uncertainty. The difference between people who talk about abundance and those who experience it is simple. Action. Not perfect action. Not delayed action. Bold, imperfect, committed action. You must stop waiting for conditions to be ideal before you move. There will never be a time when everything feels perfectly safe. Waiting for complete clarity is a trap. You learn by doing. You grow by deciding. You succeed by daring. If you want your financial life to expand, you must do what others hesitate to do. Take that calculated risk. Start that side project. Learn that new skill. Ask for that raise. Expand your network. Invest in yourself. Every bold decision compounds. Each small, brave step builds momentum until your life begins to reflect your courage. Bold action doesn't mean reckless behavior. It means moving forward with intelligence and intention, even when you feel unsure. Fear will always whisper reasons to wait. What if it doesn't work? What if I lose money? What if I fail? But fear is never a reason to stop. It's only a sign that you're stepping into growth. Boldness doesn't come from the absence of fear. It comes from refusing to let fear decide your limits. Every time you act in alignment with your goals despite discomfort, you train your mind to trust yourself more deeply. If you want to attract more money, you must act like someone who handles money wisely. That means managing what you already have with discipline. Save intentionally, not emotionally. Spend consciously, not carelessly. Invest in tools, education, and systems that increase your capacity to earn. Don't hide from your finances. Track them. Face the numbers. Awareness creates control. The moment you start treating your money with clarity and purpose, life begins to reward that respect. Bold action is also about being strategic, not impulsive. It's about knowing what outcome you want and aligning your habits to produce it. So ask yourself, do your daily actions reflect your financial goals? If your goal is freedom, do you spend your time building something that generates income while you sleep? If your goal is stability, do you have a plan that protects your future instead of reacting to emergencies? If your goal is abundance, do you act like someone who believes there's always more to create, or do you shrink back in scarcity? Every decision you make either expands or contracts your future. Bold action is choosing the decision that stretches you, even if it scares you. There's a difference between being busy and being bold. Many people mistake activity for progress. They do a lot, but move in circles. True progress comes when your actions are aligned with clear financial direction. You don't need to do everything. You need to do the right things consistently. That might mean cutting unnecessary expenses, starting an investment account, or reaching out to someone who can mentor you. Boldness is not about size, it's about intent. Even a small move, when done decisively, can change your entire trajectory. Taking bold action also means breaking through the mental habits that keep you small. If you've been taught to avoid risk, to play it safe, or to never aim too high, you must unlearn those patterns. Safety is an illusion. Stagnation is far more dangerous. The world rewards those who create movement. The marketplace doesn't wait for the timid. It responds to initiative, creativity, and persistence. If you want to be financially free, you must start showing up with conviction. People sense confidence. Opportunities are drawn to energy. The more decisive you are, the more doors begin to open. Bold action also requires consistency. One courageous day won't change your financial destiny. Steady boldness will. You can't take one leap and then retreat when results don't appear overnight. You must keep acting until your reality catches up to your effort. Many people quit too soon. They take one risk, face one setback, and decide it wasn't meant to be. But those who persist, who keep improving, learning and adjusting, always outlast those who hesitate. The world changes for the relentless, not the lucky. You must also learn to see yourself as capable of more than you've been taught to believe. If you think small, you'll act small. If you see yourself as powerful, resourceful, and deserving, your actions will naturally grow bigger. Your self-image determines your boldness. You can't act beyond what you think you deserve. That's why mindset work matters, because when you believe you are capable, boldness feels natural. It's no longer something you have to force. It becomes your default. Many people fear taking bold financial actions because they associate mistakes with failure. But every person who has succeeded financially has made errors, sometimes costly ones. The difference is they learned and kept moving. Failure is feedback. It's how you refine your strategy. The only true failure is inaction. If you keep waiting to feel ready, you'll stay exactly where you are. Readiness doesn't come before the step. It comes after. Take the leap, and your skills will rise to meet the challenge. Bold action means doing the uncomfortable things most people avoid, negotiating your worth, saying no to low-value opportunities, investing in growth instead of consumption, and building systems that multiply your income instead of draining your time. It's about thinking long-term when others seek quick rewards. It's about choosing creation over comfort. Every bold choice you make today becomes a foundation for the wealth you'll experience later. And remember, wealth doesn't come from one massive decision. It comes from hundreds of deliberate, confident actions over time. You may not see results immediately, but that doesn't mean progress isn't happening. Every action plants a seed. Every seed compounds. Stay consistent, stay strategic, and keep your standards high. Life will always meet you at the level of the effort you maintain. There will be moments when bold action feels lonely. You might not have people around you who understand your goals. You might face criticism or doubt from others who prefer comfort, but boldness demands independence. You must learn to trust your vision more than their opinions. Let your results speak louder than your explanations. You're not here to play small with your potential. You're here to create, to build, to expand. Your financial goals are not fantasies. They are signals of what you are meant to achieve if you're willing to act in alignment with them. Don't dilute your ambition to fit other people's comfort zones. Your boldness might make some uncomfortable, but it will inspire others to rise. Today, choose one action that scares you, the one you've been postponing, the one that feels too big, the one that could shift your direction. Take it. Don't overthink it. Don't wait for perfect timing. Move. Because momentum creates clarity. Once you start moving, new paths appear. Bold action is the language the universe understands. When you move decisively toward your goal, everything around you begins to rearrange itself in your favor. Resources show up, people appear, ideas connect, but none of that happens until you make the first move. So take it now. Act in alignment with your financial goals. Step with courage. Decide with conviction. Keep going with discipline, because the life you want will never come from hesitation. It will come from bold, consistent, intentional action that declares every single day that you are ready to rise. Chapter 6. Eliminate every habit that keeps you small and afraid. Every dream that dies too early is usually buried under the weight of small habits that slowly drain a person's strength. Success doesn't disappear overnight. It's suffocated by fear, hesitation, and comfort. If you want to rise higher, you must first remove the patterns that pull you back down. You cannot build a life of freedom while feeding the habits that keep you small. Growth demands subtraction before addition. It begins the moment you decide to eliminate everything that no longer serves your future. The most dangerous habits are not the obvious ones. They are the quiet routines that feel normal but keep you stuck. The habit of doubting yourself before you even try. The habit of procrastination disguised as planning. The habit of saying someday instead of today. The habit of comparing your progress to others and then convincing yourself that you're not ready. These are the invisible chains that limit your potential, and the truth is, no matter how strong your ambition is, it cannot survive the weight of repeated self-sabotage. Fear grows stronger every time you obey it. Every time you hold back because you're afraid to fail, afraid to be judged, or afraid to start over, you give fear more control over your life. The only way to weaken it is to act in defiance of it. Courage isn't about feeling fearless. It's about refusing to let fear dictate your behavior. Each time you choose action over hesitation, fear loses its grip. Eliminating habits that keep you small is not about perfection. It's about self-awareness. You cannot change what you refuse to acknowledge. Start by being brutally honest with yourself. What do you do daily that keeps you comfortable but unfulfilled? Do you waste hours consuming distractions instead of building something meaningful? Do you avoid difficult conversations because you fear confrontation? Do you stay silent about your goals because you don't want to sound foolish? Every small avoidance compounds over time and turns into a lifestyle of limitation. The first step toward breaking free is recognizing where you've settled. One of the most common habits that keeps people small is the addiction to approval. Many never reach their potential because they live to please others. They shape their choices around what feels acceptable, even when it kills their passion. You cannot serve your calling while constantly trying to meet everyone's expectations. Approval is temporary, but regret lasts forever. The people who rise in life are not those who are universally liked, they are those who are deeply aligned with their purpose. Another dangerous habit is the comfort of excuses. Excuses protect your ego but destroy your progress. They give you a story that sounds reasonable, but they steal your power to change. You cannot improve what you justify. When you say, "I can't" instead of "I won't," you turn a choice into a limitation. Excuses feel safe because they remove responsibility, but real growth begins the moment you accept that your habits are your creation and your responsibility to change. The next habit to destroy is the belief that smallness equals safety. Many people stay small because they think expansion will bring loss or judgment. But staying small costs far more than any risk you could take. Playing it safe slowly erodes your confidence. You start doubting your ability, your value, and your right to more. Life rewards expansion. The more you stretch yourself, the stronger you become. The moment you start eliminating the habits that keep you small, you begin to rebuild trust in your own power. You must also examine how you speak to yourself. The words you repeat in your mind either build courage or reinforce fear. Phrases like, "I'm not good enough," "I'll never make it," or "it's too late for me," are not facts. They are habits of thought, and like any habit, they can be replaced. Every time you catch yourself repeating a disempowering story, stop it immediately. Replace it with one that aligns with your vision. Tell yourself the truth, that you are capable of growth, worthy of success, and strong enough to handle whatever comes. Discipline is the weapon that destroys small habits. Without it, even the most inspiring ideas die in inaction. Discipline means doing what serves your future, not your comfort. It's waking up early when you'd rather sleep. It's finishing tasks instead of escaping into distractions. It's sticking to your plan, even when motivation fades. The mind that practices discipline develops inner strength, and that strength eventually becomes your freedom. If you want to eliminate fear-based habits, you must stop negotiating with them. Don't give yourself the option to quit when things get hard. Don't justify mediocrity by saying, "At least I tried." The people who win in life are those who treat every day as a test of character. They face fear, doubt, and discomfort, and keep going. Over time, what once scared them becomes familiar. The same fear that once held them hostage becomes powerless. It's also important to let go of the people who feed your smallness. Some relationships are built on mutual limitation. People bond over fear, not growth. They complain, criticize, and reinforce the idea that success is for others, not for them. If you surround yourself with people who settle, you will eventually settle too. Growth requires a new environment, one where ambition is normal, not mocked. Protect your mind by protecting your circle. Eliminating habits that keep you small is also about confronting comfort. Comfort feels pleasant, but quietly kills potential. Every time you choose comfort over challenge, you weaken your inner drive. The best version of yourself doesn't exist inside comfort. It's born in discomfort, effort, and persistence. Train yourself to embrace small challenges daily. Take the stairs when you want the elevator. Speak up when you'd rather stay quiet. Push your limits in small ways until boldness becomes your default. Many people underestimate the power of tiny habits. Just as small fears compound, small acts of courage do too. When you eliminate a habit that holds you back, even one, you create space for a new pattern to form. Replace laziness with structure. Replace worry with preparation. Replace comparison with self-focus. Replace self-criticism with learning. Transformation doesn't happen in a single leap. It happens one replaced habit at a time. Another subtle habit to eliminate is overthinking. Overthinking feels productive, but it's a form of fear in disguise. It convinces you that more thinking will lead to clarity, but it usually leads to paralysis. Action creates clarity. Stop analyzing your every move and start making progress. The fastest way to gain confidence is through movement, not mental debate. You'll never think your way out of fear. You must act your way out. Finally, remember that personal growth is not about perfection. It's about awareness and evolution. You will slip back into old habits occasionally, but awareness allows you to correct yourself quickly. The key is to refuse to stay small for long. Every time you break a limiting habit, you reclaim more of your power, and as your fear weakens, your potential expands. The journey to abundance is not about adding more. It's about letting go of what no longer fits your future. Every habit that keeps you small and afraid is an anchor holding you in place. When you release them, you rise naturally. Freedom is not something you find, it's something you create by removing everything that keeps you confined. So decide today to stop feeding your fears. Stop repeating behaviors that shrink your vision. Start living with intention, courage, and self-respect. The world is waiting for the version of you that has outgrown fear, the version that finally steps forward unafraid to live fully, freely, and boldly. Chapter 7. Surround yourself with people who think growth and progress. The fastest way to change your life is to change the company you keep. You can't think like a winner while spending your time with people who constantly doubt, complain, and stay stuck in the same story year after year. Energy is contagious. Mindsets are transferable. Every conversation you have either pushes you closer to growth or pulls you back into limitation. If you want to move forward, you must build a circle where ambition, progress, and learning are the standard. The truth is, you absorb the mindset of the people around you. Their habits, their beliefs, their outlook on life quietly shape your own. Spend enough time with those who think small, and you'll start shrinking your dreams to fit their comfort zone. But surround yourself with those who think in terms of growth, people who look for possibilities instead of problems, and your mind begins to expand automatically. You start thinking in terms of action, responsibility, and self-improvement. You stop asking, "Why me?" and start asking, "How can I grow from this?" Growth-minded people don't just motivate you, they challenge you. They remind you that comfort is the enemy of progress. They don't let you settle for less than your potential. They push you to improve your habits, refine your skills, and elevate your standards. When you share your goals, they don't laugh or discourage you. They ask how they can support you or what your next step is. They see your potential before you fully believe in it yourself. This kind of support doesn't come from luck. It comes from intentional choice. You must be deliberate about who you spend time with. If your conversations revolve around complaints, gossip, or excuses, your environment is poisoning your growth. The mind becomes what it consumes, not only from media but from the people it interacts with daily. When you fill your circle with people who talk about ideas, plans, investments, and personal development, your own thinking naturally rises. The more you listen to intelligent discussions, the more intelligent your decisions become. Sometimes, choosing growth means outgrowing people. That's not arrogance, it's awareness. You can love people deeply and still realize they no longer belong in your inner circle. Not everyone is meant to grow with you, and that's okay. Some people are lessons, not lifelong companions. You don't have to cut them off completely, but you do have to limit how much influence they have on your direction. If you want to protect your peace and progress, you must learn the art of selective proximity. The right people bring out your discipline. They make you want to be better. They respect your time, value your energy, and remind you to stay consistent. When you're surrounded by such individuals, you don't feel pressured to compete. You feel inspired to improve. There's no jealousy or resentment, only mutual growth. Everyone celebrates each other's success because they understand that another person's achievement doesn't take away from their own. In that kind of environment, progress becomes natural, not forced. You can recognize a growth-minded person by how they handle adversity. They don't blame others or complain about circumstances. They look for solutions, take responsibility, and keep moving forward. Being around such people trains your mind to see challenges differently. You stop being afraid of difficulties because you start believing that everything can be figured out. Their confidence rubs off on you. You begin to operate from possibility instead of fear. If you want to find growth-oriented people, you have to become one yourself. Like attracts like. You can't attract strong minds while thinking weak thoughts. You can't expect to be surrounded by focused individuals while living without direction. Start by working on yourself. Develop discipline, show consistency. Build something meaningful. The moment you begin to grow, life introduces you to others who are doing the same. The world connects people who share the same energy and vision. Growth is not just about making more money or achieving more success. It's about expanding your mindset. The right circle will remind you that you're not competing with anyone. You're improving on who you were yesterday. They'll hold you accountable when you slip into comfort and encourage you when you're discouraged. They'll talk about new ideas, share resources, and help you see things from a perspective you hadn't considered. In that environment, stagnation becomes impossible. Sometimes you may need to distance yourself from certain people quietly. You don't owe explanations to everyone. You owe yourself peace, focus, and growth. You don't have to argue with those who misunderstand your ambition. Not everyone will understand your hunger for more, and that's fine. Keep moving. The ones meant to walk beside you will appear at the right stage of your journey. Be intentional about your circle. Attend environments that attract ambitious people, seminars, communities, business groups, or online spaces focused on progress. Engage in conversations that challenge your thinking. Read books that stimulate your mind. Watch content that educates rather than distracts. Every influence you allow into your mind is shaping your identity, either consciously or not. Build your mental environment as carefully as you would build your home. Growth also requires humility. Surrounding yourself with people who think growth doesn't mean being the smartest person in the room. In fact, it's the opposite. Always try to be around those who know more than you, who think on a higher level, who've walked further down the path you're on. Their experience will shorten your learning curve. Their wisdom will help you avoid unnecessary mistakes. The ego resists this, but true success demands it. You cannot grow while protecting your pride. In every strong circle, there's accountability. Accountability is love in action. It's when someone tells you the truth you need to hear, not just what you want to hear. If everyone around you agrees with everything you do, your circle is not helping you grow. It's keeping you comfortable. Choose people who can challenge you with respect, who can call you out when you drift away from your values, who can remind you of your goals when you lose sight of them. That kind of environment builds real strength. You must also be the kind of person others want to grow with. Bring value into your relationships, encourage others, share what you learn. Don't just seek support, offer it. The most powerful networks are built on mutual giving, not taking. When you genuinely contribute to others' success, you attract people who do the same for you. Together, everyone rises. As you evolve, you'll notice your conversations change. You'll start talking less about what's wrong and more about what's possible. You'll spend less time debating opinions and more time discussing action. That shift is a sign of progress. The more you grow, the more your energy will attract those who are moving in the same direction. Your tribe will form naturally as a reflection of your standards. Eventually, your environment becomes your teacher. You no longer need to force motivation because everyone around you embodies it. You no longer need to defend your dreams because everyone around you respects them. You no longer need to explain your vision because your circle already lives by one. That's the power of alignment. When your surroundings reflect the future you're building, success stops feeling like struggle and starts feeling like momentum. Surrounding yourself with people who think growth and progress is not just a social choice, it's a spiritual one. It determines what you believe is possible for yourself. When you spend time with winners, you stop doubting whether you can win too. You begin to understand that growth is normal, not rare. You start expecting more from life because you see it happening around you every day. That expectation transforms your behavior, and your behavior transforms your results. Choose wisely, protect your energy, align your circle with your vision, because the people around you are either watering your potential or draining it. Your life is a reflection of your environment. Make sure it reflects the greatness you're capable of becoming. Chapter 8. Speak with confidence about your goals and your worth. When you speak about your goals with confidence, you tell the world that you are serious about your future. You signal to yourself that you are no longer waiting for permission to ride. Every word you say carries energy, and that energy shapes how others see you, how opportunities respond to you, and how life begins to organize around your vision. The way you talk about your goals and your worth determines whether you attract belief or doubt, progress or stagnation. It's not about arrogance or showing off, it's about owning your value, your potential, and your direction without hesitation or apology. When you talk timidly about your goals, people sense uncertainty. But when you speak clearly, confidently, and with conviction, others begin to believe in your dream too. The world reflects the tone of your self-belief. If you sound unsure, you'll attract people who doubt you. If you speak with power, you'll attract those who respect your mission. The language you use every day becomes the environment your future grows in. So, be careful how you describe yourself. Be intentional about how you talk about what you want, because every sentence is either building your confidence or eroding it. When you say, "I hope it works," you leave your future up to chance. But when you say, "It will work because I'm committed to making it work," you take control. Confidence is built through repetition of belief, through words that reinforce your strength. Instead of your fear, you must speak about your goals as if they are in motion, not as if they are dreams floating somewhere far away. When you talk as though your future is already unfolding, your brain starts aligning your behavior to match that reality. You make choices that support your vision instead of delaying it. People who speak with confidence about their goals don't wait until everything is perfect. They don't wait until they have all the answers or all the resources. They declare their intentions out loud and then grow into the person capable of fulfilling them. When you talk about your goals, use language that positions you as someone in progress, not someone waiting for miracles. Say, I'm building a business that's growing every month. Say, I'm becoming financially independent. Say, I'm creating a life that reflects my full potential. These words don't just describe reality, they shape it. Speaking confidently doesn't mean pretending. It means standing in the truth of your capacity. Even if you're still learning, you can speak from a place of growth. When you talk about your journey with pride and ownership, people feel that you stop sounding like someone trying to prove themselves and start sounding like someone who knows where they're headed. That's what draws respect. That's what attracts allies, partners, and mentors. People follow clarity, not confusion. When you're clear about what you want and bold enough to express it, others feel safe to support you. You've probably met people who seem magnetic when they talk about what they do. Their voice has a sense of certainty. Their eyes have conviction. They don't shrink their dreams to make others comfortable. They expand their energy until others rise to meet it. That's what happens when you speak with confidence about your worth. You give permission for others to believe in themselves too. The energy you carry becomes contagious. It creates a ripple effect of courage, and that's how leadership begins, by example, not by demand. Every goal you have needs the strength of your voice behind it. You can't whisper your dreams into existence. You have to speak them with clarity and commitment. When you say your goals out loud each day, you remind yourself that you're not playing small anymore. You build momentum by reinforcing the vision. The words I can, I will, and I am are not just phrases. They are affirmations of identity. They tell your subconscious who you are becoming, and your actions follow the identity you repeat the most. Stop apologizing for your ambitions. Stop toning down your goals because you're afraid someone might think you're too much. The people who truly belong in your life won't be threatened by your confidence. They'll be inspired by it. You don't need everyone to understand your goals. You just need to keep speaking them until the right people find you, and they will, because energy recognizes energy. Confidence attracts opportunity. Clarity attracts support. Action attracts momentum. The more you speak about your goals, the more you start believing them at a cellular level. You internalize the story you tell. If you speak from doubt, you live from doubt. If you speak from faith, you live from faith. This is why every conversation you have with yourself and with others must reflect where you're going, not where you've been. Say things that strengthen your courage, not your excuses. Say things that move you forward, not hold you back. Think about how you introduce yourself. When someone asks what you do you hesitate? Do you downplay your goals? Or do you answer with pride? The way you respond tells others and yourself what you believe you deserve. If you want to attract bigger opportunities, you must sound like someone ready for them. Not pretending, not exaggerating, just grounded in certainty that you are becoming the person capable of achieving great things. Confidence is not loud. It's steady. It doesn't rush to impress. It simply speaks truth without fear. When you talk about your goals, you don't need to convince anyone. You just need to express them with calm authority. You don't need everyone's approval. You just need your own. Because once you approve of yourself, once you trust your direction, once you know your worth, others will sense it without you saying a word. Speaking confidently also means being consistent. Don't speak power one day and doubt the next. Don't build yourself up only to tear yourself down in private. Be loyal to your goals with your words. When you're tired, remind yourself why you started. When you face rejection, reaffirm your vision. When you feel insecure, repeat what you know to be true. You are capable, deserving, and resilient. That's how you build unshakable confidence, one conversation at a time. If you ever feel your confidence slipping, remember this: no one else will believe in your goals more than you do. You are the first investor in your dream. Your words are the currency. Every time you speak your goals with strength, you're investing belief into your future, and those investments compound. One day, your results will speak for you, but until then, your voice must carry the message. So, start today. Speak about your goals as if they already belong to you. Talk about your plans like they're inevitable. Discuss your worth without hesitation. Every word you speak with confidence pushes you closer to your destiny. You are not just building wealth. You're building a new identity, one that refuses to shrink, one that knows it's worthy of success now. When you speak powerfully, you live powerfully. The world listens to those who sound sure of themselves, and when your voice aligns with your vision, life has no choice but to respond. Chapter 9. Manage your time like a leader who values results. If you want to live like a leader, you must treat your time as your most valuable currency. Every minute you spend shapes the direction of your life. People who create wealth, freedom, and purpose are not necessarily smarter or luckier. They're masters of time. They think of every day as an investment opportunity. They understand that their energy and attention are limited, so they direct them toward what truly matters. If you want results, you must stop treating time as something to fill and start treating it as something to protect. When you value results, you stop chasing busyness. You stop saying yes to everything. You stop wasting hours on things that make no difference. You start measuring your days by what you've built, not how tired you are. Leaders know that every hour should move them closer to their goals. They wake up with intention, not confusion. They know what needs to be done and why. That's the kind of clarity you must develop if you want to achieve more than the average person. Time is not something you manage only with calendars and schedules. It's something you manage through self-respect. When you respect your time, you naturally become more selective. You stop giving it away to distractions, gossip, or empty habits. You start asking, will this decision move me forward or keep me stuck? Every decision becomes a reflection of your priorities. When you start thinking this way, you begin living strategically instead of reactively. That's when your results start accelerating. Leaders think differently about time because they understand the cost of waste. They know that every unproductive hour today is a lost opportunity tomorrow. They don't let procrastination dictate their destiny. Instead, they build discipline around what matters most. They plan their days the way a builder plans a project, with precision, purpose, and accountability. If something doesn't fit the blueprint, it's removed. That's not rigidity, it's leadership. To manage your time like a leader, you must stop doing everything yourself. You must learn to delegate, simplify, and automate, not because you're above the work, but because you know your energy should be reserved for high-impact actions. Leaders don't spend hours doing what someone else could do in minutes. They protect their focus for creative, strategic, and meaningful work, the kind that multiplies results. Every time you say yes to something small, you say no to something great. Choose wisely. Leaders also structure their days with clarity. They start strong and finish with reflection. They block out time for thinking, planning, and renewal. They understand that focus fades if you don't protect it. That's why you must treat your mind like a valuable machine. It needs clear direction, rest, and maintenance. Don't overload it with chaos. Give it order. Give it purpose. Each morning should begin with a clear decision. What are the 3 most important results I need today? Everything else becomes secondary. If you want to elevate your life, track how you spend your time for 1 week. You'll be shocked at how much of it disappears into distractions. Social media, gossip, overthinking and unnecessary errands drain more time than we realize. Leaders identify those leaks and seal them. They don't let technology control their attention. They use it as a tool, not a trap. You have to learn to say no, not out of rudeness, but out of respect for your own priorities. Managing your time like a leader also means mastering your emotions, because time is often wasted in indecision, worry, and self-doubt. When your mind is cluttered, your time slips away. The person who controls their emotions controls their schedule. You can't be productive if you're constantly reacting to everything around you. Learn to pause before responding. Choose calm over chaos. Choose clarity over confusion. Leaders understand that a composed mind produces better results than a rushed one. Success is not about how much you do. It's about how effectively you do it. You can work 12 hours and achieve little, or work 6 hours with focus and make massive progress. The difference lies in priorities. Before you begin any task, ask yourself, is this moving me closer to my financial goals, or just keeping me busy? If the answer is the latter, redirect your effort. Efficiency without direction is just motion without progress. Leaders live by the principle of focus. They don't divide their energy across 10 different projects, hoping one will work. They choose one direction, master it, and build momentum. Spreading your attention too thin is the fastest way to stay average. Concentrate your time and energy like a laser beam. When you focus deeply on one thing that matters, you achieve in months what others can't in years. That's how results are built. Not by doing more, but by doing what matters most. Managing time also means managing people. You must surround yourself with those who respect your time, not those who waste it. People who value progress don't demand constant attention. They align with your mission. They contribute, not consume. If you're around people who constantly drain your focus, your results will suffer no matter how disciplined you are. Leadership requires boundaries. Protect your space from anything or anyone that pulls you away from your vision. Another key to time mastery is learning to start and finish tasks without delay. Procrastination is the enemy of leaders. Every time you delay, the weight of unfinished work increases. The more you postpone, the harder it becomes to begin. Break that cycle by acting immediately. The moment you feel resistance, do anything that moves the task forward. Action builds momentum, and momentum eliminates fear. Leaders don't wait for the perfect mood or moment, they create it by starting. To lead your time effectively, you must think in systems, create routines that simplify your day. When your mornings are predictable, your creativity increases. When your workflow is consistent, your stress decreases. Chaos drains energy. Order multiplies it. The more structure you bring to your day, the more freedom you gain. That's the paradox of productivity. Discipline creates independence. When your schedule serves your goals, life starts to flow instead of fight you. Every day you wake up is a blank canvas. The way you spend it determines what kind of masterpiece you'll leave behind. If you spend it reacting, scrolling, or doubting, you'll end the day empty. But if you spend it creating, learning, and executing, you'll end the day fulfilled. The results you seek don't come from massive one-time actions. They come from consistent, deliberate use of time. Great leaders are not defined by how hard they work, but by how strategically they direct their effort. If you ever feel like time is slipping away, pause and realign. You have the same 24 hours as every successful person you admire. The difference lies in how you use them. Are you creating results or collecting distractions? Are you building or waiting? Are you leading your time or letting it lead you? The answers to those questions determine your destiny. So, starting today, think like a leader who values results. Guard your time fiercely. Plan your days with purpose. Eliminate tasks that don't serve your vision. Focus your energy where it counts most. When you live with this level of discipline, your life begins to expand. Opportunities find you. Progress feels natural. Success stops being distant. It becomes daily. Time rewards those who respect it, and if you manage it with the heart of a leader, it will multiply your success beyond anything you've imagined. Chapter 10. Learn to handle money with clarity and self-control. Money is not mastered by those who earn the most. It is mastered by those who handle it with clarity and self-control. The difference between wealth and struggle is rarely income, it's discipline. Anyone can make money for a while, but few can keep it, grow it, and direct it with purpose. To become someone who attracts and sustains abundance, you must think beyond desire. You must develop the calm precision of a person who knows where every dollar goes and why. Clarity about money begins with awareness. Most people drift through life reacting to bills, debts, and impulses without ever truly understanding their financial patterns. They spend because of emotion, not intention. But those who create real wealth see money as a tool, not a thrill. They study their spending habits the way an athlete studies their performance, honestly and without excuses. You can't improve what you refuse to look at. The first step to handling money wisely is facing your financial truth. Sit down with yourself and look at where your money goes. Every purchase tells a story about your priorities. The question is, are those priorities aligned with your future or your impulses? Clarity means cutting through illusion. It means admitting when spending comes from boredom, insecurity, or comparison. It means taking control of your choices before they control you. The more awareness you bring to your financial behavior, the more power you gain to change it. Self-control with money is not about deprivation. It's about direction. It's about saying no to distractions so you can say yes to freedom later. Many people fear discipline because they associate it with sacrifice, but discipline is actually the highest form of self-respect. When you control your spending, you're telling yourself that your future matters more than momentary pleasure. You're proving that your goals are stronger than your impulses. That kind of mindset transforms not just your finances, but your entire life. People who lack control with money often chase feelings instead of results. They buy to feel important, accepted, or temporarily happy. But true confidence doesn't come from what you own. It comes from who you are becoming. Every time you make a conscious financial decision, you're shaping a version of yourself that is stable, wise, and free. You stop being a servant to money and start being its master. You stop asking, "Can I afford this now?" and start asking, "Does this align with the life I'm building?" Handling money with clarity also means defining your purpose for it. Why do you want more? What will it mean for your life, your family, your freedom? Without a purpose, money loses meaning. And when money has no meaning, it's easily wasted. People who build lasting wealth attach it to a mission. They save and invest, not to impress, but to create stability, options, and impact. They understand that money is meant to serve their values, not replace them. To live with clarity, you must also separate emotion from decision. Never let excitement or fear dictate your financial moves. Before you spend or invest, pause. Ask yourself, am I reacting or reasoning? Emotional spending is the enemy of progress. It's easy to make money, but it's hard to make peace with your habits if they're fueled by emotion. The disciplined person learns to delay gratification, to think long-term instead of short-term. That one ability to wait with patience and confidence creates more wealth than any secret strategy ever could. Self-control also shows up in how you manage debt. Borrowing is not evil, but using it without awareness is dangerous. Every time you take on debt, you borrow from your future comfort to satisfy a present desire. If that debt doesn't generate growth, it becomes a chain. Wealth builders understand leverage. They use it to create assets, not to escape discipline. They don't use credit to look rich. They use it to tow something that produces value. That mindset separates the financially strong from the financially trapped. Clarity also means simplifying your finances. The more complicated your system, the easier it becomes to lose focus. Keep things organized. Track your spending. Automate your savings. Review your progress weekly. When your financial life is structured, you gain peace of mind. You stop living in confusion and start living in control. Money flows more easily to people who manage it consciously, because clarity creates confidence, and confidence attracts opportunities. Self-control must extend to how you handle growth. When you start earning more, resist the temptation to inflate your lifestyle. Many people rise in income but stay in struggle because they spend everything they make. Wealth is not built by income. It's built by retention. The faster you upgrade your lifestyle, the slower you grow your net worth. Let your results grow quietly. Let your savings rise faster than your expenses. The ability to live below your means while expanding your value is one of the greatest financial strengths you can develop. Handling money with self-control also requires humility. There will be times when the best financial move is to wait, learn, or do nothing. Wealth creation is not always about movement. It's about making wise moves at the right time. Don't be afraid to pause, research, or seek advice. The patient mind outperforms the impulsive one. The humble learner outlasts the arrogant spender. Control comes from wisdom, and wisdom comes from awareness of your limitations. Clarity around money also demands honesty in relationships. Many financial struggles arise not from lack of money, but from miscommunication about it. If you share finances with a partner or family, transparency is key. Speak openly about goals, habits, and priorities. Financial clarity must exist, not only within yourself, but within your circle. Mutual understanding creates alignment, and alignment creates progress. Another part of clarity is knowing the difference between investing and gambling. The world constantly tempts you with quick gains and flashy promises, but a disciplined mind doesn't chase noise. It studies, plans, and acts with purpose. Learn about money. Understand how it grows. Knowledge builds confidence, and confidence builds control. When you understand what you're doing, you stop reacting to market fear or trends. You move strategically, not emotionally. You must also understand that clarity is not perfection. You will make mistakes. You will overspend. Sometimes you will take risks that don't work out. But self-control means learning instead of collapsing. Review, adjust, and keep going. Every mistake is feedback, not failure. The goal is not to never fall. It's to rise faster each time you do. Financial maturity grows from reflection and consistency, not from flawless performance. To truly handle money with mastery, you must change your identity around it. Stop saying "I'm bad with money" or "I'll never get ahead." Those are self-fulfilling statements. Replace them with "I'm learning to manage my money wisely." I make clear and confident financial decisions, and I control my money, it doesn't control me. Speak those truths until they become your default thoughts. Abundance begins in mindset long before it shows up in your account. Clarity and self-control turn money from a source of stress into a source of strength. When you know where your money is going and why, you feel grounded. When you can say no to unnecessary spending, you feel empowered. When you use money to create growth instead of waste, you feel fulfilled. This peace of mind is the real wealth, the kind that doesn't vanish with market shifts or income changes. Every time you act with clarity, you rewrite your financial story. Every moment of restraint builds long-term strength. Every intentional choice brings you closer to independence. You don't need to be a genius to handle money well. You need to be consistent, patient, and clear. The more disciplined you become, the easier wealth becomes. Not because the world changes, but because your relationship with money does. When you handle money with clarity and self-control, you move differently. You stop chasing abundance and start embodying it. You make decisions from power, not pressure. You build a life where money serves your values, not your fears. And when that happens, wealth stops being something you chase. It becomes something that naturally follows you. Chapter 11. Turn every setback into a lesson for success. Every person who has ever achieved anything meaningful in life has faced moments that almost broke them, but the difference between those who rise and those who remain stuck is how they interpret those moments. A setback can be the end of your story, or it can be the beginning of your transformation. The truth is, success is not built on comfort. It's built on the lessons hidden inside your disappointments, your failures, and your losses. When you stop seeing setbacks as proof that you're not good enough and start seeing them as messages meant to guide you, everything begins to change. Most people get defeated not because life was too hard, but because they took failure personally. They saw rejection as an attack on their worth, instead of as redirection toward growth. When something doesn't go your way, you must step back and ask, what is this teaching me? What do I need to see differently? This question transforms your mindset from a victim of circumstances into a student of progress. Because when you learn, you evolve. When you evolve, you advance. And when you advance, success becomes inevitable. The truth is, every setback carries feedback. That lost opportunity, that failed business, that broken relationship, it all leaves behind data about what works and what doesn't. But most people never use that data. They get emotional, they get bitter, and they repeat the same mistakes. The successful ones pause long enough to study their failure. They analyze where they went wrong, where they hesitated, where they ignored their instincts. They use their pain as a strategy session, because wisdom is not found in winning. It's found in the struggle that forced you to question yourself and grow stronger from it. You must learn to detach your identity from your results. Losing once doesn't make you a failure. Failing 100 times doesn't mean you're not capable. It means you are alive, moving, trying, and growing. Every time you fail, you're closer to success. If you take the lesson with you. People often underestimate how much failure teaches you about timing, preparation, and discipline. You can read all the books and take all the courses, but experience, especially painful experience, is the ultimate teacher. When you experience a setback, don't rush to escape the discomfort. Sit with it. Let it reveal your blind spots. Maybe it's showing you that your habits weren't aligned with your goals. Maybe it's teaching you patience. Maybe it's asking you to develop emotional control so that you don't sabotage yourself again. Every failure carries a mirror. You just need the courage to look into it and face the truth about yourself. The most successful people in the world are those who treat setbacks like investments. They understand that pain is the price of growth. When something fails, they don't see it as wasted time. They see it as a tuition fee for wisdom. They refine their approach, adjust their expectations, and return stronger. That's what leadership of self looks like. You take responsibility for your part, learn from it, and use it to sharpen your future decisions. The next time life pushes you down, don't rush to complain. Ask yourself, what skill is this situation trying to build in me? Maybe it's resilience. Maybe it's humility. Maybe it's clarity. If you can identify what lesson is hidden within the hardship, you immediately regain your power, because now, instead of being trapped in the problem, you're focused on growth. You stop reacting emotionally and start responding strategically. That's how you rise faster after every fall. There's a difference between failure and finality. Failure is a moment. Finality is a decision. You fail only when you decide to stop trying. As long as you keep learning, adapting, and showing up, you are still in the game. You are still growing. You are still evolving towards something better. The people who make it far in life don't do so because they're perfect. They succeed because they're persistent. They fall, they adjust, and they move forward with more awareness than before. Setbacks are not punishments, they're checkpoints. They test whether you really want what you say you want. Anyone can say they want success, but only those who keep going after failure prove they deserve it. When you experience rejection, remember that life might be preparing you for a better opportunity that requires more maturity, patience, or skill. What feels like a detour might actually be the route that saves you from bigger losses later. The key is to keep your emotions from clouding your judgment. When you fail, the first reaction is often frustration, embarrassment, or shame. But if you take a moment to breathe and analyze, you'll realize that the experience itself didn't destroy you. It revealed something important. Maybe you learned that you need stronger boundaries, better focus, or clearer goals. That's progress, even if it doesn't look like it, because progress isn't always visible. Sometimes it's internal, preparing you for the next level of your journey. When you turn setbacks into lessons, you begin to appreciate the process more than the result. You stop being desperate for quick wins and start valuing long-term growth. You understand that success built on solid lessons lasts longer than success built on luck. The more challenges you overcome, the more stable your confidence becomes. You no longer fear mistakes because you know how to learn from them. And that fearlessness gives you an edge in every area of life. One of the most important skills you can develop is emotional stability during failure. The ability to stay calm, think clearly, and maintain perspective is what separates the achievers from the quitters. When you stay composed, you can see opportunities where others only see disappointment. You can make rational adjustments instead of emotional reactions. You can choose growth instead of retreat. That's how leaders think. They don't deny the pain, but they use it productively. Your mindset determines whether a setback becomes a stepping stone or a wall. When you view everything as part of your evolution, no experience is wasted. Even the most painful ones serve a purpose. You begin to see how much strength you've built through what you've survived. You start trusting yourself more, knowing that no matter what comes, you can handle it and turn it into something valuable. Every great comeback starts with self-reflection. Before you move forward, look back with honesty. What did you ignore? What warning signs did you miss? What could you have done differently? This is not self-criticism, it's self-awareness. When you own your mistakes, you free yourself from them. You learn faster, act wiser, and prevent repeated failures. That's how personal growth accelerates. The lesson behind every setback is simple. Growth demands discomfort. You can't evolve if you're only willing to stay where it's easy. Every obstacle builds character. Every disappointment strengthens your patience, and every failure refines your wisdom. If you can internalize that truth, no loss will ever defeat you, because now you understand that everything good or bad is working for your ultimate success. So, the next time life knocks you down, don't just ask, why me? Ask, what can I gain from this? Every successful person you admire once stood where you stand now, hurt, confused, and unsure, but they decided to learn instead of quit. They took their pain and turned it into direction, and that's exactly what you can do. Because setbacks don't define you, your response to them does. Your future success is not determined by how many times you fall, but by how many times you rise with more wisdom than before. Every challenge is shaping the person you're becoming. Keep learning, keep adjusting, and keep moving. Because one day, you'll look back and realize that the very moments you thought were breaking you were actually building you into the person capable of everything you once dreamed of becoming. Chapter 12. Make consistent effort toward the lifestyle you want. Nothing changes until you decide to show up every single day for the life you want. Dreams are beautiful, but without daily effort, they remain nothing more than ideas floating in your imagination. The lifestyle you want, whether it's freedom, stability, health, or peace, will only come when you back your intentions with consistent action. Most people underestimate the power of small, repeated effort. They think transformation requires something dramatic, but real success is built quietly, one disciplined day at a time. Consistency is the bridge between goals and results. You can have vision, motivation, and talent, but if you only work when you feel inspired, your progress will always be unstable. The truth is, your lifestyle is a reflection of your daily habits, not your occasional bursts of effort. Every meal you eat, every decision you make, every hour you spend, it's all creating your future. When you take ownership of those small choices, your life begins to move in the direction of your dreams without you even realizing it. The reason most people fail to achieve their ideal life is not lack of ability, it's lack of follow-through. They start strong, but they don't stay strong. They get distracted, discouraged, or bored when the excitement fades. But the ones who win understand that consistency is not about perfection, it's about persistence. You don't have to do everything perfectly, you just have to keep showing up, even when progress feels invisible. Because success is cumulative. Every small action compounds over time until it becomes a result you can't ignore. If you want to build the lifestyle you truly desire, you have to make effort your default setting. You have to work even when nobody's watching, even when you're tired, even when motivation fades. Discipline will take you where motivation can't. The truth is, everyone gets tired, everyone has doubts, and everyone feels resistance, but the difference lies in who keeps going despite it. When you keep moving forward through discomfort, you're training your mind to trust that your goals are not negotiable. There will be days when you feel like nothing's working. You'll question whether the effort is worth it. But those are the days that define your future. When you push through despite not seeing results, you're developing inner strength. You're proving to yourself that you're not doing this for instant gratification. You're doing it because you've made a decision to create a better life. That level of commitment changes everything. The lifestyle you want won't appear suddenly. It's built through repetition, through habits that align with who you want to become. If you want financial freedom, your daily choices with money must reflect discipline. If you want health, your daily meals and movement must reflect care. If you want peace, your daily thoughts and interactions must reflect intention. The outcome is simply a mirror of your patterns. Change the patterns, and the results will follow automatically. Consistency is not glamorous, but it's powerful. It's doing what needs to be done even when you don't feel like it. It's saying no to distractions because you remember your priorities. It's waking up early to work on your goals instead of wasting time on temporary pleasures. It's choosing to stay focused when others drift. Over time, those quiet decisions create visible success. Many people fail because they overestimate what they can do in a week and underestimate what they can do in a year. The life you want will take time to build. You can't rush real progress, but you can accelerate it through steady effort. Every day, you stay consistent. You move closer. Every day, you procrastinate. You drift farther. The question is, are your daily actions taking you toward or away from the lifestyle you say you want? You don't need massive breakthroughs every day. You need steady momentum. One page written, one workout completed, one step forward. It all counts. Momentum is built through motion. Once you establish that rhythm, it becomes easier to maintain. The key is not to stop, because when you stop, you lose the energy that was carrying you forward. Stay in motion, and your momentum becomes your ally. To maintain consistency, you must anchor your effort in purpose. When your why is clear, your actions become non-negotiable. If your reason is strong enough, your excuses lose power. You stop treating effort as a burden and start seeing it as a privilege. The privilege to shape your destiny with your own hands. Every bit of progress, no matter how small, feels meaningful because it's aligned with who you truly want to become. Discipline is not punishment. It's self-respect in action. It's how you prove to yourself that you deserve the life you dream of. When you honor your commitments, especially to yourself, you build confidence. You no longer depend on motivation because your word becomes your strength. That's how leaders operate. They don't wait for the perfect time or mood. They create results through consistency. When you start making consistent effort, you'll notice something interesting. Your environment begins to respond. People start treating you differently because they sense your seriousness. Opportunities start showing up because you've prepared yourself to handle them. Life rewards consistency because it reveals commitment. When you stay steady, you signal to the universe that you're ready for growth, and growth begins to unfold naturally. Don't expect overnight transformation. Expect gradual evolution. The body you want, the peace you crave, the career you dream of, they're all built brick by brick. Every day you put in the work, you're laying another brick. Some days it will feel slow, but if you stay patient, those bricks will eventually form the structure of your ideal life. That's how progress works. It's invisible until it's undeniable. If you ever feel stuck, remember that progress is not always visible, but it's always happening when you stay consistent. Sometimes you're growing in silence. Sometimes your habits are changing your mindset before they change your results. That's still progress. Trust the process. The key is not to quit during the invisible phase, because that's when most people give up right before their breakthrough. Surround yourself with reminders of your goals. Write them down, review them daily. Make your effort intentional, not random. Structure your day in a way that supports your ambitions. Create routines that make consistency natural, not forced. Success doesn't come from intensity, it comes from stability. You don't need to work harder once, you need to work steadily always. When you master consistency, you master your life. You stop being controlled by emotions, distractions, or circumstances. You become the kind of person who moves forward no matter what's happening around you. That inner stability becomes your superpower, because while others wait for perfect conditions, you create progress through consistency. At the end of the day, success is simple. Decide what kind of life you want. Identify the actions that lead there, and do them repeatedly. That's it. The gap between who you are and who you want to be is filled by consistent effort. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, you close that gap a little more. So, if you truly want to live the lifestyle you've been dreaming about, stop waiting for the right time, the right feeling, or the right opportunity. Start now, with what you have, where you are, and keep going every day. The person who stays consistent will always outperform the person who only works when it's convenient. Consistency is the most reliable form of strength, because when you're consistent, you don't just chase your dreams, you build the discipline that makes them real. Keep showing up, keep putting in the effort, keep believing that every small step counts. One day, the life you've been working toward will no longer be something you dream about. It will be the life you wake up to every single day. Chapter 13. Develop daily routines that build focus and discipline. Focus is not something you stumble upon. It is something you deliberately create every single day. Discipline is not a talent you're born with. It is a muscle you develop through routine and practice. If you want to achieve extraordinary results, you must stop leaving your day to chance. Every moment spent scattered, distracted, or reactive is a moment stolen from your potential. The people who accomplish the most are not the busiest. They are the ones who structure their days with precision, creating habits that make focus and discipline automatic. A powerful daily routine begins with clarity. You must know what matters most and organize your day around it. Without a clear plan, even the most motivated efforts dissipate into inefficiency. Identify your top priorities and dedicate uninterrupted time to them. Start your day with the actions that move your life forward. Avoid starting with trivial tasks that only create the illusion of productivity. True progress comes from aligning your energy with your goals in a deliberate sequence. Consistency is the foundation of focus. Doing something once may provide a small benefit, but repetition builds mastery. When you wake up and commit to a structured routine, your mind starts to operate predictably. Decisions that once drained your energy are handled automatically because the habit has been reinforced. This frees your mental capacity for creative thinking and problem solving, which are essential for producing meaningful results. Discipline grows from small, intentional steps. Begin with concrete actions you can control, waking up at the same time, planning your day in advance, setting aside time for learning, and allocating focused periods for your most important work. When these small actions are repeated daily, they compound into formidable mental strength. Over time, your routine becomes a system that supports your focus rather than leaving it to chance. Eliminate distractions systematically. Modern life is full of interruptions, notifications, social media, email, and unnecessary obligations. Each distraction chips away at your ability to concentrate. A disciplined routine includes boundaries that protect your focus. Create blocks of time when interruptions are minimized. Inform those around you of your dedicated periods of work. Treat your focus as sacred, because the results you achieve depend on how well you protect it. Focus also requires energy management. Your mind cannot operate at peak performance when it is exhausted or overstimulated. Incorporate activities that restore your clarity, such as exercise, meditation, or quiet reflection. Fuel your body with nutritious food and hydrate consistently. Sleep is not negotiable. Without it, even the best routines fail. The routine that builds discipline accounts for your mental and physical well-being because focus is impossible without balance. Intentional routines also shape your mental habits. When you commit to doing the hard but necessary tasks first, you train your mind to resist procrastination. You demonstrate to yourself that effort precedes comfort. This builds confidence in your ability to handle challenges consistently. The more your mind experiences disciplined action, the easier it becomes to maintain focus even in the face of difficulty or temptation. Reflection is another essential component. A disciplined routine is not blind repetition, it is guided improvement. Take time at the end of each day to assess your progress. What went well? Where did you drift? What adjustments are necessary? By evaluating your actions daily, you refine your routine, strengthen your focus, and build a system that evolves with your goals. Discipline grows faster when paired with thoughtful self-assessment. Routines also anchor your habits in structure rather than willpower. Willpower is finite, but a well-designed routine conserves it. When you consistently perform the same actions at the same time, decision fatigue decreases. You no longer waste energy asking yourself, "What should I do next?" Instead, your body and mind move automatically, directed by the framework you've built. This is how discipline becomes effortless over time. Create rituals that signal the start and end of focused periods. Rituals condition your mind to enter a state of concentration quickly. It could be as simple as clearing your desk, writing down your top tasks, or taking a few deep breaths before beginning work. These cues train your brain to transition smoothly from distraction to attention. Over time, your focus strengthens because your routines have created a consistent signal for productivity. In addition to structured work periods, include deliberate time for growth. Dedicate blocks of your day to reading, learning new skills, or reflecting on long-term goals. Growth-focused routines expand your capacity for impact. They prevent stagnation and ensure that every day contributes not only to immediate tasks, but also to the person you are becoming. Discipline is most powerful when it integrates both action and personal development. Momentum is built through repeated effort. Even on days when motivation is low, following your routine ensures progress. Discipline does not wait for inspiration, it creates it through action. The simple act of showing up consistently compounds over weeks and months. What seems small today accumulates into transformation tomorrow. Those who achieve extraordinary results do so because they honor their routines without exception. Accountability amplifies focus. Share aspects of your routine with someone you respect or track your adherence visibly. This external reinforcement strengthens your commitment. It is easier to maintain consistency when you know your actions are being observed, but the most powerful accountability is internal, the personal integrity that develops when you refuse to break a promise to yourself. This internal discipline is unshakable. Your environment influences your routine significantly. Arrange your workspace and living areas to support your habits. Remove clutter, minimize noise, and make tools readily available. A structured environment reduces friction and allows your focus to remain uninterrupted. Every detail that aligns with your daily habits reinforces the mental clarity required to sustain discipline. A strong routine also includes flexibility within structure. Life is unpredictable, but routines provide a reliable framework to absorb disruptions without losing momentum. When you plan ahead for possible interruptions, you can adapt without abandoning your focus. Discipline is not rigidity, it is consistency in the pursuit of your objectives despite circumstances. The routine acts as both anchor and guide. The combination of focus and discipline creates freedom. When your mind is trained through deliberate action, distractions lose power. Your energy is directed where it produces results, and your decisions are informed by clarity rather than chaos. Over time, the routine itself becomes a shield against procrastination, indecision, and wasted effort. It allows you to achieve more in less time while preserving your mental and physical energy. Every moment invested in a focused routine builds capacity for greater achievements. The tasks you complete, the habits you reinforce, and the mental resilience you cultivate compound exponentially. Discipline becomes a habit, and focus becomes a natural state. You begin to operate at a higher level without struggle because your daily structure has trained you to perform consistently. Developing daily routines that build focus and discipline is not optional. It is essential for anyone who wants to achieve meaningful results. Without it, your potential remains scattered, your energy diluted, and your progress inconsistent. When you commit to structured daily habits, you create the conditions for success, not luck. You design a life where achievement is inevitable because your actions are aligned, repeated, and intentional. The power of focus and discipline lies in their accumulation. One day of effort is small, but 30, 60, or 90 days of consistent practice transforms who you are. Your mind becomes sharper, your habits stronger, and your life more aligned with your goals. What once required effort eventually becomes automatic excellence. This is the reward of a well-constructed daily routine. Mastery over attention, self-control, and results. By building routines that prioritize focus and discipline, you take control of your destiny. You move intentionally rather than reactively, act decisively rather than hesitating, and produce consistently rather than sporadically. Every day you honor your routine. You reinforce the mindset and habits that turn ambition into achievement. When focus and discipline are woven into the fabric of your life, success stops being random. It becomes inevitable. Chapter 14. Replace negative thoughts with actions that move you forward. Negative thoughts have the power to paralyze your life if you let them dominate your mind, but they have no power when replaced with deliberate action. Every moment spent overthinking, worrying, or doubting is energy diverted from creating the reality you desire. The mind naturally drifts toward fear and limitation, but you can train it to focus on progress instead. The key is not to eliminate thought, it's to redirect it into motion that produces results. Every negative thought carries a choice. You can ruminate and stall, or you can act and advance. Most people underestimate how quickly negative thinking becomes a habit. Worry about the future, fear of failure, and self-doubt are all patterns reinforced over time. Each time you indulge them, your brain strengthens the path toward limitation. But the path toward growth is formed by action. Every step you take toward your goal rewires your mind to expect progress, not defeat. Momentum is created not in the mind alone, but in the consistent movement that follows thought. The first step in replacing negative thoughts is awareness. You cannot change what you do not notice. Pay attention to the internal dialogue that runs through your head. What fears or doubts surface when you consider your goals? What excuses arise to justify inaction? By identifying these patterns, you can consciously interrupt them. Recognition is power. It allows you to choose action over inaction. Action is the antidote to negative thought. Even small, deliberate steps forward break the cycle of fear and doubt. When you focus on tangible tasks, making a call, sending an email, learning a skill, or completing a project, you replace energy spent on worry with results. Movement generates confidence, and confidence suppresses the voice of negativity. Every action proves to yourself that progress is possible and reinforces the belief that you can overcome obstacles. The next principle is timing. Negative thoughts often gain strength when you hesitate. Delay feeds doubt, and doubt feeds stagnation. The moment you notice a thought of fear or inadequacy, act immediately in alignment with your goals. That might mean sending a proposal, starting a workout, or practicing a new skill. Immediate action interrupts the pattern of rumination and conditions your mind to associate thought with response, rather than paralysis. Another important technique is reframing. Negative thoughts are usually distortions, not facts. When your mind says, "I can't do this," examine the evidence. What steps can you take to move closer to success? What resources or skills do you have at your disposal? Reframing turns fear into strategy. It transforms internal dialogue from a barrier into a map for your next move. Replace "I'm not ready" with "What can I do today to get ready?" Replace "I always fail" with "What can I adjust to improve?" The focus shifts from defeat to opportunity. Action also builds momentum that reinforces positive thinking. The more you accomplish, the more your mind trusts that you can achieve. Each completed task creates a feedback loop. Success strengthens belief, and belief drives further action. Momentum becomes a shield against negativity because it replaces imagined problems with tangible progress. The brain begins to expect results, not setbacks. Discipline amplifies this process. Waiting for motivation to overcome negative thoughts is ineffective because motivation fluctuates. Discipline, however, ensures that you act regardless of mood. A disciplined approach trains the mind to expect productivity even when energy is low or doubts are high. This consistency rewires neural pathways, making forward-focused action the default response to negative thought. Environment plays a critical role in shaping thought patterns. Surround yourself with reminders of progress, sources of encouragement, and people who foster action-oriented thinking. Limit exposure to negativity, whether in conversation, media, or social influence. A supportive environment reinforces your ability to replace doubt with purposeful effort. When your surroundings align with your goals, negative thoughts lose their grip more quickly. Accountability further strengthens action-based thinking. When someone else knows your goals, you are more likely to act despite fear. Commit publicly to small steps or track progress in visible ways. Accountability creates external pressure that complements internal discipline, making inaction less acceptable. It is easier to replace negative thoughts with tangible steps when someone is observing your commitment. Visualization is another effective strategy. Imagine yourself acting despite fear, completing tasks that once intimidated you, or moving confidently toward your goals. Visualization primes the brain to respond with action instead of hesitation. When you pair mental rehearsal with actual steps, the mind begins to accept possibility and diminish resistance. Thought becomes a precursor to movement rather than an obstacle. Reflection ensures that your actions are guided, not random. Each day, review what actions replaced negative thinking, which steps produced momentum, which thoughts still need addressing. Reflection allows you to refine strategies and develop a stronger connection between thought and productive behavior. Over time, the pattern becomes automatic. Noticing negative thought triggers immediate, effective action. Gratitude is also a subtle but powerful tool. When your mind is focused on what you already have and what progress you've made, it is harder for negativity to take hold. Action grounded in gratitude is more deliberate and confident because it is rooted in awareness of possibilities, not fear of lack. Recognizing your accomplishments shifts focus from limitations to capabilities, reinforcing the habit of moving forward. Finally, patience is essential. Replacing negative thoughts with constructive action is not instantaneous. The mind resists change, and old patterns will arise. The key is to respond consistently, notice the thought, choose a forward-focused action, and repeat. Each repetition strengthens the neural pathways of progress. Over time, your mind becomes trained to default to movement, initiative, and solution-seeking, even under stress or doubt. The life you create is a direct reflection of your actions, not your anxieties. Negative thoughts will always appear, but their power diminishes in proportion to the actions you take. Focus on what you can do immediately, take steps aligned with your goals, and trust that consistent effort transforms mindset. Every movement forward is proof that you are capable, resourceful, and resilient. Replacing negative thoughts with action is a daily practice. It is the difference between waiting for life to happen and making life happen. Thought alone cannot create results, but action can. Thought without action becomes stagnation. Action without fear becomes growth. When you commit to acting despite doubt, hesitation, or fear, you not only move closer to your goals, you fundamentally change who you are. Every time you act instead of overthinking, you train your mind to trust itself. You build confidence in your decisions, clarity in your path, and momentum that drives further action. Over time, the habit of responding to negative thoughts with movement creates a life that is proactive, empowered, and aligned with your ambitions. The mind becomes a tool for progress rather than a source of limitation. To transform your life, recognize that every negative thought is an invitation to act. Step forward, even in small ways, and prove to yourself that you are capable of more than your doubts suggest. The more you replace hesitation with purposeful movement, the more unstoppable you become. Action is the bridge between limitation and opportunity, between fear and accomplishment. Your future is determined not by the thoughts you entertain, but by the steps you consistently take in response. Chapter 15. Learn new skills that increase your earning potential. The world rewards those who can do more, those who can solve problems that others cannot, and those who continually expand their abilities to match opportunity. Your earning potential is not fixed. It grows in proportion to the skills you develop, the knowledge you acquire, and the value you create for others. Every skill you learn is an asset that multiplies your capacity to earn, influence, and impact your life. The difference between average and exceptional income often comes down to one simple factor: what you can offer that others cannot. Learning new skills is not just about acquiring knowledge. It is about creating leverage. When you master a skill that solves a pressing problem or fulfills a high-value need, you position yourself as indispensable. Whether it is technical expertise, communication, negotiation, or leadership, each skill adds a dimension to your ability to generate income. People who stagnate often do so because they rely solely on what they already know, while those who actively expand their abilities capture the opportunities others overlook. The first step is identifying which skills are in demand and align with your goals. Analyze your industry, observe market trends, and pay attention to what employers or clients are willing to pay for. Skills that increase earning potential are rarely superficial. They are practical, applied, and solution-oriented. They address real needs in a way that creates measurable impact. By focusing your learning on areas with tangible value, you ensure that the time you invest translates directly into income growth. Commitment to skill development requires consistency. Learning is not a one-time effort, it is a continuous process. Break the skill into smaller components and practice regularly. Whether it is coding, marketing, sales, design, or financial literacy, mastery comes from persistent effort. Daily practice, even in small increments, compounds over months and years into a level of proficiency that sets you apart. The key is not speed, but consistency, because repeated application is the engine of expertise. Application is as important as acquisition. Knowledge without execution rarely increases earning potential. Skills must be applied in real-world situations to create value. This means taking initiative, offering services, building projects, or experimenting with solutions that challenge your abilities. Action transforms learning into tangible results. Every project, every trial, every practical exercise reinforces the skill, strengthens confidence, and demonstrates your ability to deliver. Investing in yourself is the most direct path to increasing income. Courses, certifications, workshops, and mentorship are all tools to accelerate learning. They provide structure, guidance, and feedback that shorten the path to competence. Surrounding yourself with people who excel in the skill you want to acquire elevates your progress. The right environment, coupled with deliberate effort, produces exponential growth. Adaptability amplifies earning potential. Markets, technologies, and consumer needs are constantly evolving. Skills that are valuable today may become obsolete tomorrow. Learning new skills equips you to remain relevant and competitive. Each additional skill acts as a hedge against uncertainty, giving you flexibility and resilience. The more versatile your abilities, the more opportunities you can access, and the less vulnerable your income becomes to external changes. Confidence grows alongside competence. As you acquire skills, your capacity to command higher income increases. Clients, employers, and partners are willing to pay more for someone who can deliver consistently and expertly. Mastery signals reliability and professionalism. The more confident you become in your abilities, the more willing you are to seek higher value opportunities and negotiate for what you are worth. Focus your efforts on skills that create leverage. Skills that enable you to impact many people at once. Scale your work or multiply your results provide the highest returns. For example, leadership skills allow you to influence teams. Digital marketing skills can reach thousands of clients. Technical expertise can solve complex problems efficiently. When you develop skills that have a multiplying effect, your earning potential expands far beyond what time alone can produce. Mistakes are part of the learning process. Do not fear failure or the temporary discomfort of being inexperienced. Every error reveals weaknesses and provides insight into how to improve. Embrace the learning curve, knowing that each misstep brings you closer to proficiency. Those who avoid challenges remain stagnant, while those who actively engage with difficult tasks grow their capacity to earn. Time management is critical when learning new skills. Allocate dedicated periods for study and practice without distractions. Prioritize learning as an essential investment, not as an optional activity. When skill development becomes a structured part of your daily routine, progress accelerates. Consistency, focus, and deliberate practice turn potential into tangible expertise. Reflection enhances growth. After practicing a skill or applying it in a real-world scenario, review your performance. What worked? What could be improved? What adjustments are necessary for better results next time? Reflection allows you to fine-tune your abilities, avoid repeating mistakes, and accelerate mastery. Without reflection, learning becomes shallow and less effective. Network and collaboration magnify the value of skills. Learning in isolation is slower and often limited. Engaging with others who are more experienced exposes you to insights, techniques, and feedback that fast-track your development. Collaboration also opens doors to opportunities where your new skills can be applied for income and influence. Every interaction becomes a chance to leverage what you've learned and expand your impact. Mindset shapes how effectively you acquire skills. Approach learning with curiosity, patience, and determination. Avoid comparing your progress to others. Focus on your own trajectory. Consistent effort and a growth-oriented mindset ensure that each new skill adds meaningful value to your life and earning potential. Confidence grows naturally as competence accumulates, reinforcing a cycle of continuous improvement. Measure your progress to maintain motivation. Set specific benchmarks or outcomes for each skill you are developing. Tracking advancement creates clarity and accountability, preventing stagnation. When you can see measurable improvement, your confidence increases and your commitment strengthens. Skills that are quantified in impact or results directly correlate with higher earning potential. Combine skills strategically. The intersection of multiple abilities often creates unique value that commands higher income. For instance, blending technical expertise with communication skills or design with marketing knowledge produces capabilities that few others possess. The ability to offer combined solutions enhances your leverage and differentiates you in competitive environments. Finally, understand that learning is lifelong. The pursuit of new skills is never complete because the world continually evolves. Each skill you acquire builds a foundation for the next, and every step forward compounds your capacity to earn, influence, and thrive. The most financially successful people are those who never stop learning, never stop adapting, and never settle for their current abilities. Increasing earning potential is a direct result of your willingness to invest in yourself. Each skill learned, each challenge embraced, and each practical application completed brings you closer to higher income, greater influence, and personal freedom. Take responsibility for your growth, commit to continuous improvement, and leverage every skill you acquire to create tangible results. Your future is determined not by what you know today, but by what you choose to learn and apply consistently moving forward. Chapter 16. Keep promises to yourself to build strong self-trust. The foundation of every achievement begins with trust. Trust in your own abilities, trust in your decisions, and above all, trust in yourself. When you consistently keep the promises you make to yourself, you build an unshakable internal authority that guides every choice, action, and goal. Self-trust is the invisible force that separates those who achieve greatness from those who drift through life without clarity or confidence. Without it, even the best plans falter because hesitation and doubt seep into every decision. Promises to yourself are not trivial. They are declarations of integrity that your mind and spirit recognize. When you say you will act in a certain way or achieve a specific goal and then follow through, you prove to yourself that your word is reliable. Each act of follow-through strengthens the belief that you are capable, disciplined, and worthy of the life you desire. Conversely, when you break promises to yourself, even in small ways, your inner confidence erodes, and your ability to take decisive action diminishes. Begin with small, deliberate promises. Commit to actions that are realistic and measurable, such as waking up at a certain time, completing a daily task, or dedicating a fixed period to skill development. These early successes reinforce self-trust because they are tangible proofs of reliability. Over time, these small promises build momentum, enabling you to honor more significant commitments. Trust grows incrementally, layer by layer, through repeated evidence of personal integrity. Consistency is critical. The human mind is trained through repetition. Each time you follow through, your brain records that your word is dependable. Each time you fail to follow through, it records the opposite. When self-trust is consistently reinforced, your internal compass becomes unwavering. You no longer hesitate in crucial moments or doubt your capabilities. Decisions become easier and action becomes natural because you know you can rely on yourself to deliver. Accountability to yourself is not passive. It requires conscious attention and deliberate effort. Set clear intentions each day and track your progress. Evaluate honestly whether you fulfilled the commitments you made to yourself. If you fell short, analyze the reason without self-judgment. Adjust, recommit, and act. This process strengthens resilience, reinforces discipline, and demonstrates that self-trust is built not on perfection, but on reliability in the face of challenges. Self-trust impacts every area of life. When you can rely on yourself, you make better decisions about money, relationships, work, and personal growth. You no longer chase temporary satisfaction or avoid responsibility because you trust your judgment and follow through. Others sense this reliability, and it increases your influence and credibility. Trust in yourself becomes the silent force that amplifies success. Breaking promises to yourself, even in small ways, is more damaging than most realize. Every time you ignore a commitment, you teach your mind that your word is negotiable. This creates an internal conflict that undermines confidence and disrupts focus. Your energy is diverted from forward movement toward managing guilt, doubt, and frustration. By prioritizing self-honoring actions, you remove internal resistance and free your energy for growth and achievement. Set clear boundaries to protect your commitments. Life is full of distractions, competing demands, and pressures that can pull you away from promises you've made to yourself. Guard these commitments fiercely. Treat them as non-negotiable and design your environment to support follow-through, whether that means scheduling focused work time, reducing unnecessary obligations, or eliminating toxic influences. Protecting your word to yourself ensures your inner authority remains intact. Challenge and discomfort are inevitable. Self-trust is not forged in comfort. It is built in moments of resistance and choice. When completing a promise requires effort, sacrifice, or courage, the reward is greater. Each time you follow through despite difficulty, your confidence strengthens, your resilience increases, and your internal integrity solidifies. Growth comes from proving to yourself that your commitments matter more than temporary convenience or fear. Documenting your promises enhances clarity. Writing down commitments creates accountability that the mind cannot easily ignore. Review these promises daily and visualize yourself completing them. This process reinforces mental focus and emotional alignment with your goals. Every completed promise reinforces the belief that you can achieve what you set out to do, and every visual reminder keeps your intentions at the forefront of action. Reflect on past experiences where you honored or broke promises to yourself. Identify patterns that strengthen or weaken your self-trust. Learn from these observations and implement corrective measures. Awareness allows you to create a deliberate approach to keeping your word, turning past mistakes into tools for future reliability. Each reflection strengthens your ability to act consistently and with purpose. Self-trust is also reinforced through planning and preparation. Set realistic goals, break them into actionable steps, and anticipate challenges. When you prepare thoughtfully, you increase your likelihood of following through. Reliability is built on capability. The more equipped you are to honor commitments, the stronger your internal authority becomes. Preparation removes excuses and creates conditions where promises are kept naturally. Celebrate achievements, no matter the size. Each time you keep a promise, acknowledge it. Recognition reinforces the neural pathways associated with follow-through and strengthens your motivation to maintain self-trust. Celebrating success creates a positive feedback loop, encouraging repeated integrity and building confidence in your abilities. Self-trust transforms challenges into opportunities. When you face obstacles, your mind trusts that you can respond effectively because your past actions have demonstrated reliability. Fear diminishes, hesitation fades, and decisive action becomes the default. This inner authority is a stabilizing force that allows you to navigate uncertainty with confidence, knowing that you can handle whatever comes your way. Honoring promises to yourself is the ultimate form of respect. It communicates that your time, goals, and well-being are worthy of dedication. Self-respect and self-trust are inseparable. When you keep your word, you reinforce the belief that you deserve success, health, and happiness. This inner alignment fuels motivation, discipline, and clarity in every decision you make. The long-term impact of self-trust is profound. It strengthens character, sharpens judgment, and enhances resilience. Life becomes more predictable and controllable because your actions are guided by a reliable internal authority. You no longer rely solely on external validation or circumstances. Your inner compass becomes sufficient for navigating challenges and pursuing opportunities. To strengthen self-trust, start with deliberate daily actions. Honor small commitments consistently. Expand to larger, more consequential promises as your confidence grows. Approach each commitment with focus, integrity, and accountability. The practice compounds over time, creating a life where your word is your bond and your reliability defines your personal power. Ultimately, keeping promises to yourself is a declaration that you are capable, reliable, and committed to your own growth. It creates a foundation for achievement, confidence, and resilience that nothing external can undermine. Every time you follow through, you reinforce the truth that you are someone who can be trusted, someone who can be relied upon, and someone who can create the life they envision through consistent action and unwavering integrity. Chapter 17. Visualize the life you want and act toward it. The life you desire begins not with luck or circumstance, but with a clear vision and the deliberate actions that bring it into reality. Every accomplishment in history started as a thought, a picture in someone's mind of what could be, followed by persistent, focused effort to turn that vision into reality. Visualization is not daydreaming. It is a method of clarifying your goals, sharpening your focus, and directing your energy toward consistent progress. The clearer your vision, the stronger your ability to act with purpose. Seeing the life you want in precise detail engages your mind in problem solving before challenges arise. When you visualize daily, your brain begins to recognize opportunities, solutions, and actions that align with that vision. Your subconscious mind, which governs most of your decisions and habits, becomes an ally in creating the future you intend. Visualization transforms vague desires into actionable clarity. You begin to notice possibilities that were invisible before, simply because your attention is now focused on outcomes, not obstacles. Begin with absolute specificity. What does your ideal life look like? Where are you living? Who surrounds you? What work are you doing? How does your day unfold from morning to night? The more detailed the picture, the stronger the signal you send to your mind. A clear mental image directs your thoughts, priorities, and actions in a way that ambiguous goals never can. When the mind knows exactly what to aim for, distractions fade and focus intensifies. Visualization must be paired with action, otherwise it remains fantasy. Seeing the life you want is only the first step. Each mental image must lead to tangible steps that bring it closer to reality. Break down your vision into practical daily actions. If financial independence is your goal, identify the behaviors that generate income, the skills required, and the decisions necessary to achieve it. If personal growth is your target, define the routines and habits that reinforce learning and resilience. Clarity of vision without deliberate movement accomplishes nothing. Mental rehearsal strengthens confidence. When you visualize achieving your goals, you train your mind to anticipate success rather than failure. This prepares you to act decisively when opportunity arises. The brain cannot fully distinguish between vividly imagined success and real experience. Rehearsing positive outcomes reduces hesitation, boosts courage, and increases your readiness to take bold steps. Visualization primes your mind to respond with skill, focus, and persistence. Action fuels belief. Each step taken toward your vision validates your capacity to achieve it. Begin with small, measurable tasks and build momentum. When you move consistently toward the life you imagine, your confidence compounds. Challenges become manageable because you have already conditioned yourself to navigate obstacles through repeated, focused effort. Progress creates evidence that reinforces both your vision and your determination to achieve it. Visualization also sharpens decision-making. When your mind knows your destination, evaluating choices becomes simpler. Every decision can be measured against the life you are building. Will this action bring you closer to your vision or pull you away? This clarity eliminates indecision and accelerates results. Opportunities that might have been ignored are recognized and seized because your attention is attuned to outcomes rather than distractions. Persistence is the bridge between imagination and reality. The life you visualize will not appear overnight. Action, repeated consistently over weeks, months, and years, solidifies progress. Each effort aligns circumstances, skills, and resources with your vision. Persistence builds resilience, ensuring that temporary setbacks do not derail your path. Every day of disciplined action compounds, gradually transforming the imagined life into tangible reality. Accountability strengthens the connection between vision and action. Sharing your goals with someone you respect or tracking your progress publicly enhances commitment. When someone else observes your journey, it increases the likelihood of follow-through. External accountability complements internal motivation, ensuring that your vision is not only vivid but actively pursued. Environmental alignment reinforces visualization. Surround yourself with reminders of your goals and influences that support growth. Visual cues, inspirational materials, and mentors all reinforce your mental image. Remove distractions, negativity, and unnecessary obligations that compete for your attention. When your environment mirrors the life you aim to create, your mind receives consistent reinforcement to act in alignment with your vision. Reflection magnifies progress. Regularly review the steps you have taken toward your envisioned life. Identify what actions were effective and what needs adjustment. This continuous assessment keeps your path aligned with your goals, ensuring that visualization translates into results. Reflection prevents stagnation and creates a feedback loop that reinforces both clarity and momentum. Visualization enhances problem solving. Imagining challenges within your envisioned life allows you to prepare strategies in advance. By mentally rehearsing potential obstacles, you reduce the fear of the unknown and develop solutions before problems become real. This proactive approach reduces wasted energy and accelerates your ability to overcome adversity, ensuring that each step forward is deliberate and effective. Emotional engagement strengthens visualization. When you vividly experience the feelings associated with achieving your goals, pride, freedom, excitement, security, you create a powerful motivation engine. Emotion energizes action, makes progress more compelling, and reinforces the commitment to pursue your vision relentlessly. Your mind becomes emotionally invested in the outcome, increasing both resilience and persistence. Combine visualization with incremental milestones. Breaking your vision into short-term objectives allows you to measure progress tangibly. Each completed milestone validates your direction and strengthens self-confidence. Milestones transform a distant, overwhelming vision into manageable steps, sustaining motivation and focus. Achievement becomes visible, reinforcing the cycle of imagination, action, and results. Learning from experience strengthens the visualization process. Observe what works and what does not. Adjust your strategies and refine your vision accordingly. Your mental image evolves alongside your abilities and circumstances, remaining realistic while still ambitious. Adaptation ensures that your visualization is practical, actionable, and continuously aligned with what is possible. Belief amplifies action. The more vividly you visualize the life you want, the more your mind accepts it as attainable. This belief fuels decisive action, mitigates self-doubt, and increases resilience in the face of challenges. Action rooted in belief is faster, more focused, and more effective than action driven by uncertainty or fear. Your mind becomes a partner in building the reality you imagine. Ultimately, the life you desire is the result of deliberate mental design coupled with consistent, purposeful action. Visualization clarifies the destination, but action creates the path. Every step you take, no matter how small, bridges the gap between what exists now and what you intend to achieve. The mind, the heart, and the hands must work in concert to transform vision into reality. By committing to see the life you want in vivid detail and acting with relentless focus, you shape circumstances, attract opportunities, and develop the skills necessary for success. The combination of clarity, persistence, and deliberate action ensures that your vision is not a distant dream, but a tangible reality. Each day, each decision, and each action moves you closer to the life you imagine, proving that your future is determined not by chance, but by the deliberate alignment of thought and action. Chapter 18. Practice gratitude to strengthen your mindset of abundance. Gratitude is not a passive feeling. It is a powerful practice that reshapes your mind, amplifies your focus, and strengthens your ability to attract abundance. Every person who achieves lasting success understands that true prosperity begins with recognition of what already exists. When you cultivate gratitude, you are rewiring your mind to notice opportunities, appreciate resources, and take confident action toward growth. The shift from scarcity to abundance begins with the conscious choice to value what is present in your life. Focusing on gratitude changes the way you perceive challenges. Instead of seeing obstacles as barriers, you begin to recognize lessons and opportunities within them. Each difficulty becomes a chance to grow, improve, and refine your strategies. Gratitude provides perspective. It allows you to see the bigger picture, where setbacks are temporary and resources are more abundant than they first appear. This mindset transforms frustration into motivation and limitation into possibility. The practice of gratitude strengthens resilience. When your attention is rooted in what you already have, you are less likely to be overwhelmed by fear, worry, or comparison. You develop an internal stability that does not rely on external validation or circumstances. Life becomes a series of opportunities rather than a sequence of disappointments. Gratitude acts as a foundation for confidence, discipline, and consistent action. Start by acknowledging both tangible and intangible blessings. Physical comforts, relationships, skills, health, and personal growth all contribute to your ability to create abundance. Recognizing these elements daily trains your mind to focus on assets rather than deficits. This conscious awareness builds a positive feedback loop. The more you recognize value in your life, the more naturally your mind sees additional ways to create and attract wealth. Gratitude expands perspective beyond immediate wants. Instead of concentrating solely on what is lacking, you see the resources, connections, and opportunities that already exist. This perspective reduces anxiety, enhances clarity, and increases the ability to make effective decisions. When your mind is oriented toward abundance rather than scarcity, it becomes easier to take bold actions that lead to growth and success. Writing gratitude lists is a practical method for reinforcing this mindset. Daily reflection on 3 to 5 specific things you appreciate anchors your thoughts in positivity. This process stimulates the brain to notice additional sources of value throughout the day, creating a cumulative effect that strengthens both mood and focus. A consistent gratitude practice trains your mind to expect abundance as a natural part of life. Gratitude also enhances relationships, which are essential to creating opportunities. Expressing appreciation for others fosters trust, collaboration, and support. People respond to acknowledgement and sincerity, and this mutual respect often opens doors that might have remained closed. Recognizing the contributions and value of those around you creates a network that amplifies growth and opportunity. When you cultivate gratitude, you also increase your awareness of progress. Many people overlook small victories while chasing big outcomes. Noticing incremental achievements reinforces self-confidence and sustains motivation. Each small success is a building block toward larger goals, and acknowledging it creates momentum. Gratitude ensures that progress is seen, valued, and leveraged for further action. Gratitude transforms the way you use resources. Recognizing what you already possess encourages careful, strategic, and creative use of time, money, and energy. You become less likely to squander opportunities because you are attuned to value, efficiency, and potential. Awareness of existing assets strengthens decision-making and aligns your actions with long-term goals. Mental rehearsal of gratitude primes the brain for abundance. Visualize the life you want and acknowledge the steps, resources, and skills you already possess to achieve it. This reinforces belief in your capacity to succeed and activates motivation to act. Gratitude combined with visualization creates a powerful synergy. Clarity of vision meets recognition of existing resources, enhancing both confidence and initiative. Gratitude also reduces internal resistance to success. Many people subconsciously sabotage their growth due to feelings of unworthiness or fear of scarcity. Regularly practicing appreciation for what you have combats these limiting beliefs. It reinforces the idea that you are deserving of more and capable of creating additional value, which strengthens the psychological foundation for wealth, achievement, and personal growth. Consistency is crucial. Daily, deliberate practice of gratitude ensures that your mindset remains aligned with abundance rather than scarcity. Without repeated focus, it is easy to drift back into patterns of comparison, dissatisfaction, or fear. A structured approach, morning reflection, journaling, or moments of mindful acknowledgement anchors your mind in positivity and prepares you to approach challenges with clarity and resilience. Gratitude sharpens perception of opportunities. When you focus on what is available, you notice paths, connections, and solutions that others overlook. Your mind becomes attuned to potential rather than limitations. Opportunities appear more frequently because your attention is no longer distracted by complaints, scarcity thinking, or fixation on obstacles. Recognition leads to action, and action leads to results. Emotion enhances the impact of gratitude. Feeling genuine appreciation rather than mechanically listing items intensifies the mental and physiological benefits. Emotionally engaging with your blessings strengthens neural pathways associated with positivity, motivation, and resilience. This creates a mental environment in which abundance becomes not just a concept, but a lived experience that drives daily choices and behaviors. Gratitude fosters humility without diminishing ambition. Recognizing your current resources and progress grounds your mindset while motivating further growth. Humility allows for learning, adaptation, and openness to advice, while ambition directs effort toward achievement. This balance ensures that your pursuit of success is both effective and sustainable. Sharing gratitude amplifies its effects. Expressing appreciation to colleagues, mentors, or partners reinforces connections and encourages reciprocity. Recognition creates trust and cooperation, which often accelerates access to opportunities and support. Gratitude is not only an internal practice, it generates real-world influence that aligns with abundance in every area of life. Finally, gratitude transforms challenges into opportunities. When faced with difficulties, focusing on aspects you can appreciate, lessons learned, skills developed, relationships strengthened, reduces fear and strengthens resilience. Every obstacle becomes a platform for growth, every failure a teacher, and every setback a chance to redirect effort toward higher value outcomes. Gratitude ensures that your focus remains on progress, potential, and possibility. Practicing gratitude daily strengthens a mindset of abundance that underpins consistent action, resilience, and opportunity recognition. It shifts attention from scarcity to value, from frustration to possibility, and from hesitation to decisive movement. By appreciating what exists while pursuing what is possible, you align your mind, energy, and actions with the flow of prosperity. Gratitude is both a lens and a tool. It illuminates the wealth around you and amplifies your capacity to create even more. When gratitude becomes habitual, abundance ceases to be a concept and becomes the operating principle of life. The mind trained in appreciation notices opportunities, leverages resources efficiently, and pursues growth with clarity and confidence. Each day of deliberate gratitude reinforces belief, focus, and discipline, creating an environment in which wealth, success, and personal fulfillment are natural outcomes of the mindset you cultivate. Chapter 19. Create systems that make wealth a natural outcome. Wealth is rarely the result of chance. It is the product of deliberate systems, consistent habits, and structured processes designed to produce measurable outcomes. Those who achieve lasting financial success understand that creating wealth is not about working harder in an unorganized way. It is about designing a framework in which money, opportunities, and growth flow naturally from consistent effort and intelligent decisions. Systems remove reliance on willpower alone and make progress inevitable. The first step in building such systems is clarity. Define your financial goals with precision. Know exactly what level of income, savings, investments, and assets you are aiming for. Without clear targets, systems lack direction. A system requires a destination to measure progress against, and this clarity provides focus, eliminating wasted effort and aligning daily actions with long-term outcomes. Automation is a critical component of financial systems. When recurring tasks such as savings, investments, and bill payments are automated, your progress continues without requiring constant decision-making. Systems reduce friction, prevent procrastination, and ensure that consistent actions are taken regardless of mood or circumstances. Automation is not about avoiding effort, but about structuring your life so your actions reliably support wealth creation. Tracking and measurement are essential. A system without accountability is incomplete. Record income, expenses, investments, and returns to understand patterns and identify areas for improvement. When you track outcomes, you gain insight into what works and what doesn't, allowing you to refine your strategies. Regular assessment turns financial activities into a feedback loop, ensuring continuous growth and adaptation. Time management is a cornerstone of effective systems. Align daily routines with activities that directly contribute to wealth creation. Prioritize high-value tasks, delegate low-value work, and schedule consistent periods for strategy, skill development, and revenue-generating actions. Systems are most effective when they guide your energy toward activities that multiply results rather than dissipate effort. Creating multiple streams of income is a fundamental principle. Relying on a single source of revenue is fragile and limits growth. Systems that integrate diverse income channels, business ventures, investments, royalties, and skills-based services provide stability and scale. When your efforts are structured across complementary sources, wealth accumulation becomes less dependent on any single circumstance and more a natural result of the overall framework. Leverage is another key element. Systems should identify where effort can be amplified through tools, technology, partnerships, or teams. By leveraging resources effectively, you expand capacity without proportionally increasing time or energy invested. A well-designed system ensures that every action has the potential to produce maximum impact, multiplying results while preserving focus. Routine and consistency underpin every successful financial system. Daily, weekly, and monthly rituals create habits that reinforce wealth-building behavior. These routines transform intention into action, ensuring that even when motivation wanes, progress continues. Consistency is the engine that turns small, deliberate actions into significant outcomes over time. Risk management must be integrated. Systems should anticipate potential setbacks and include measures to mitigate losses, whether through emergency funds, diversified investments, or insurance. Protecting your foundation ensures that wealth creation continues despite unexpected challenges. Systems that account for risk maintain stability, allowing growth without exposing progress to unnecessary vulnerability. Education and skill development are system components that sustain long-term wealth. Embed learning into your framework by dedicating regular time to acquiring knowledge, understanding markets, and enhancing capabilities. Wealth grows when you are equipped to recognize opportunities, make informed decisions, and respond strategically to change. Continuous learning ensures your system evolves alongside the world. Decision-making processes must be standardized. Identify criteria for evaluating opportunities, investments, and financial commitments. When choices are guided by predefined principles rather than impulsive reactions, outcomes become more predictable and reliable. Systems codify successful behaviors and reduce errors caused by emotion or distraction, creating a consistent path toward your financial objectives. Delegation amplifies results. Systems should determine which tasks you personally handle and which can be assigned to others. Leveraging talent, expertise, and technology allows you to focus on high-impact decisions while routine or specialized tasks are managed efficiently. A system that incorporates delegation scales capacity and multiplies results without overburdening you. Accountability structures reinforce adherence to systems. Whether through self-monitoring, mentorship, or partnerships, having mechanisms that ensure follow-through prevents deviation from established processes. Systems function best when there are checks and balances that maintain discipline, clarity, and momentum over time. Integration is the hallmark of an effective wealth system. Financial goals, skill development, routines, investments, and personal growth should be interconnected, creating a coherent framework where each component supports the others. Integration ensures that efforts in one area compound benefits in others, producing exponential results. Wealth creation becomes the natural byproduct of aligned actions rather than sporadic effort. Feedback loops refine performance. Systems must include mechanisms for evaluating outcomes, learning from successes and failures, and adjusting strategies. A system that evolves based on real-world results remains efficient, relevant, and resilient, continuously improving without relying solely on luck or trial and error. Mindset is a key ingredient in all systems. The belief that wealth is achievable and that structured action produces results reinforces adherence. Systems are effective only when paired with discipline, patience, and confidence. A mindset oriented toward abundance allows you to act decisively, maintain focus, and persist through challenges, ensuring that the framework functions as intended. Financial literacy should be embedded into the system. Understanding cash flow, investment strategies, tax implications, and wealth preservation enables smarter decisions. A well-designed system incorporates knowledge application, ensuring that resources are not just accumulated, but managed intelligently to maximize growth. Scaling is essential for long-term outcomes. Systems should anticipate growth and incorporate mechanisms that allow expansion without loss of efficiency. As income increases, processes should adjust to handle larger volumes, additional opportunities, and more complex operations. Scaling ensures that wealth grows in proportion to effort and vision. Simplicity strengthens effectiveness. Systems that are overly complex or rigid often fail in practice. The most powerful frameworks are intuitive, clear, and actionable. A simple system that is followed consistently produces more reliable results than an elaborate one that is difficult to maintain. Finally, review and refinement are ongoing requirements. Systems are not static. They must evolve with circumstances, goals, and knowledge. Regular evaluation, adjustment, and optimization ensure that the framework continues to produce predictable results and keeps wealth creation aligned with your ambitions. When systems are designed and implemented correctly, wealth becomes an automatic outcome of consistent, disciplined effort. Every element, clarity, routine, leverage, risk management, education, decision-making, delegation, and accountability works together to transform deliberate action into sustainable results. By creating structured processes, you remove reliance on luck or motivation alone and place your financial success firmly under your control. Wealth is no longer a distant possibility. It becomes the natural result of an intelligent, intentional framework executed with discipline and focus. Chapter 20. Live every day as if success depends on today. Every day holds the potential to transform your life, and treating each day as though your success depends entirely on it changes everything. This perspective eliminates procrastination, sharpens focus, and heightens urgency. Time is your most valuable asset, and the choice to act decisively in the present creates momentum that compounds into lasting achievement. Success is not a distant destination. It is the result of what you do consistently today, without deferring responsibility or opportunity to some vague future moment. Living as if today matters forces clarity in your priorities. Every decision, every action, and every interaction can be measured against the outcome you desire. When you understand that each day is critical, distractions lose their power. Activities that waste time, energy, or focus no longer hold appeal because they do not move you closer to your objectives. This mindset refines your attention, ensuring that effort is concentrated on high-value tasks and decisions that have meaningful impact. Urgency creates discipline. Treating today as vital eliminates hesitation, fear, and excuses. It compels action, even in uncertainty, because the cost of inaction becomes tangible. Motivation alone is fleeting, but urgency converts intention into behavior. By committing fully to today, you train your mind to respond with decisiveness, turning challenges into opportunities and ensuring that progress is relentless rather than sporadic. Preparation is amplified when urgency is balanced with foresight. Planning for the day with purpose ensures that your actions are efficient and effective. Knowing exactly what must be accomplished and allocating energy strategically allows you to maximize results. Each morning becomes a focused mission rather than a sequence of tasks performed without intentionality. Structured preparation ensures that today's efforts produce outcomes aligned with long-term success. Persistence compounds results. Approaching each day with full commitment builds momentum over time. Small, consistent efforts, when executed with urgency and attention, accumulate into extraordinary outcomes. A single day may feel insignificant, but repeated over weeks, months, and years, each moment contributes to a trajectory of growth and achievement. Living as if success depends on today turns consistency into a habit that powers long-term results. Attention to detail becomes second nature. When every day is vital, half measures are unacceptable. Tasks are completed with precision, communication is deliberate, and commitments are fulfilled reliably. This level of accountability builds trust, reputation, and credibility, which are invaluable resources in personal and professional life. Excellence becomes a standard rather than an aspiration, and your actions begin to reflect the highest level of competence. Decision-making accelerates under this mindset. Knowing that today carries weight encourages swift evaluation of choices, reducing procrastination and indecision. Prioritizing actions based on impact ensures that energy is not squandered. Decisions that align with your goals are implemented immediately rather than delayed, creating a rhythm of consistent, purposeful movement toward achievement. Living as if today matters enhances emotional resilience. Challenges, setbacks, and uncertainty become temporary hurdles instead of insurmountable obstacles. The focus shifts from fear of the future to mastery of the present, strengthening adaptability and problem-solving. By addressing what is within your control today, you reduce anxiety and increase confidence, knowing that tangible progress is being made regardless of external circumstances. Opportunities are recognized and acted upon with greater frequency. When every day is essential, you develop a heightened awareness of possibilities that might otherwise be overlooked. Networking, learning, and seizing advantageous situations occur naturally because your attention is attuned to outcomes rather than distractions. Success becomes a consequence of responsiveness and readiness cultivated through daily vigilance. Accountability magnifies impact. Holding yourself responsible for daily performance ensures that commitments are honored. Self-discipline is reinforced when consequences of inaction are recognized in real time. Daily accountability prevents drift, maintains momentum, and strengthens the alignment between intention and execution. Every day becomes a checkpoint for personal integrity and progress. Energy management is critical in this approach. Prioritizing high-impact activities while minimizing energy drains ensures maximum efficiency. Understanding when to act, when to rest, and when to focus prevents burnout while maintaining a high level of productivity. Living as if success depends on today is not reckless. It is deliberate allocation of effort toward outcomes that matter most. Reflection and adaptation enhance performance. At the end of each day, reviewing accomplishments, challenges, and lessons learned creates a feedback loop that informs tomorrow's actions. Continuous improvement ensures that efforts are refined, mistakes are minimized, and strategies remain aligned with long-term objectives. This cycle of action, evaluation, and adjustment turns each day into a stepping stone toward mastery. Consistency in this mindset transforms habits. Repeated daily action reinforces patterns of effectiveness, discipline, and foresight. Habits formed under urgency and purpose automate success, making high-level performance sustainable without relying solely on motivation. Each day becomes an opportunity to reinforce systems, routines, and behaviors that naturally lead to achievement. Focus intensifies when each day is treated as pivotal. Distractions lose significance when compared to the consequences of neglecting today's opportunities. Mental clarity and prioritization improve, ensuring that resources, time, energy, and attention are devoted to actions that directly contribute to objectives. Focus becomes a skill strengthened by deliberate, daily practice. Courage is cultivated through action. Facing challenges immediately, rather than deferring, builds confidence, reduces fear, and reinforces capability. By approaching obstacles head-on, you develop a track record of competence and resilience, creating psychological momentum that propels further success. Bold decisions become habitual because urgency removes the comfort of hesitation. Living as if today matters fosters gratitude and presence. Each day is approached with awareness and intentionality, allowing appreciation of progress, relationships, and opportunities. Gratitude enhances motivation, reinforces positivity, and strengthens the mindset necessary for sustainable achievement. Presence ensures that actions are deliberate, maximizing impact in every moment. Long-term success is built on short-term commitment. Treating each day as crucial bridges the gap between aspiration and accomplishment. Goals that might seem distant become attainable because they are pursued consistently with full attention and urgency in the present. The accumulation of focused daily effort creates compounding results that manifest as significant achievement over time. Self-trust is reinforced through daily action. When commitments to yourself are honored consistently, confidence in your ability to achieve grows. Each completed task, solved problem, or seized opportunity reinforces belief in personal capability. Living as if success depends on today strengthens reliability, self-discipline, and accountability, forming the foundation of all sustained achievement. Every day presents a finite opportunity, and using it effectively determines the trajectory of your life. By acting decisively, prioritizing impact, and committing fully to the present, you transform ordinary moments into catalysts for extraordinary results. Success is not a distant reward. It is the product of deliberate, focused, and consistent action in the here and now. Approach each sunrise with intention, clarity, and urgency. Plan meticulously, execute decisively, and review rigorously. Treat each day as an essential component of the future you are building. Momentum, discipline, and opportunity converge when every day is treated as critical, ensuring that the life you desire is no longer deferred, but actively created. The present moment is the most powerful tool for shaping your destiny, and the actions you take today determine not just progress, but the ultimate realization of your ambitions.